Hey, what's up, Alex? How's it going, man? Excuse me. Pricing up fresh BGS slab. New jungle pack split. Yep, that's coming soon in a second here. And then, what else? What else should the stream be about tonight? Well, Hot Tops rainbow splits. Those are hot. They keep going off. People really like the rainbow cards. All right, we're going to copy that. Let's go ping the Discord server, and we'll ping Instagram. Give me a minute here. We're live right now for Sunday night. All right, we'll hit copy on this and paste it. Okay, let's jump over here to Instagram. Mister, I'm going to Price is Right taping over the weekend. I'm planning on winning big. Oh, Price is Right taping. Price is Right. So it took me a second to register what you're talking about there. The Price is Right. Do 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 do. There we go. Who hosts that now? It's Drew Carey, right? All right, very good. When I was a kid, we watched that all the time. Let's see. Clicking on this. I'm going to hit cancel on that. Let's see. I'm going to post this. Post. One moment. I'm going to delete this. So I'm cross-advertising the stream right now. That's what we're doing. That's what we do. We cross-advertise it so that people on Facebook and people on Instagram know that we're live. Let's see. I'm going to hit refresh on this. Squeak Squad. Hey, what's up, guys? Here we go. Okay, so I can post this in here. All right. Is it posted? There we go. We'll hit post. Seems they give people many chances to guess the correct number. We're going to post this next. Do 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 do. Scoop boop a doo be doo. Doop a doo be doo boop a doo be doo. And how about in here? I'm going to leave that one alone. All right, so we're done cross-advertising. Let's go grab the tags. Welcome, guys, to the Sunday nighttime stream. It is Sunday night, almost Monday morning. Sunday tends to be a really slow stream. Doesn't tend to be really busy, so it's kind of laid back a little bit, you know? Low pressure. After the stream, I take my Wegovy shot. I like to take it right after the stream. I used to take it before the stream, but it would make me feel sick, so I don't do that way anymore. I take the shot and then I go to bed. All right, so the tags are in. Let's turn the ads on. I've upped the dosage. I think my doctor chose that for me because I didn't, you know, request a higher dosage. I think the doctor requested a higher dosage. So I'm going from 1 milligram to 1.7 milligram. It's a big jump. It's making me nervous. So hopefully I don't feel sick all day tomorrow. All right, cool, cool, cool. That all looks good. This should say Hot Tops rainbow splits. That's lovely. While we're here, why don't we go take a look at replacing that jungle pack, shall we? I have a Pokemon question. I need help, Mr. Cardconomist. Feel free to ask me any Pokemon card questions. I'm happy to answer your questions. All right. We'll jump in here. Oh, I know. We need to pin the website. Okay, we're going to grab the website. Delete this. Today we're playing calm Zelda music. Well, we were playing Skyrim music for a few nights. Now we're moved on to Zelda. He said you're not losing weight fast enough. Yeah, it's a lady doctor, and she wanted to up the dosage earlier, and I wasn't super excited to up the dosage yet because it would trigger headaches in me and stuff, so it's a little scary. All right, but so hopefully I just handle it easily. Let's go ahead and delete these. Delete. Nice. Okay, Ryan Trejo says, It seems it's holding payment. No, it's all good. It looks like it did actually process. Yeah, I can see the Ryan Trejo order right there, $155, so that went through. I think we're shipping a Michael Pettiford card. That's good. Okay, let's see. Alex is going to win a car on Price is Right. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you this. I decided to buy Crimson Invasion. It was $32. I did pull the Gengar hiding behind the wall. Oh, that's... okay. That's not a question. That's called you like bragging about how well you did. Here it is. All right, let me go ahead and throw this away. I'm going to throw this away. I think you had a real question. Let's see. We're going to sign into this. Boop. All right. Do. Hit refresh. Cool. How's CGC doing? Skippity-boo-boo. Let me log out of here. Okay, now we're going to sign back in. I got a question. Is the One Piece real? Oh, it's real. Here's Tag. How about you, Tag? How are you doing, Tag? Ooh. We have a big tag submission, 259 cards, and it's in the quality assurance step. We're about to get a large tag return, everybody. So it's getting close. All right. So let's go over here. Let's see. Jungle. This will also help us pick a price for this pack. We got to pick a price. We got to pick a pack of pickled peppers. Let's see. Let me try sorting these by highest price, and then we just scroll down. I had ramen again. Ramen's so good. You're not supposed to eat too much ramen, but I hadn't eaten any for like months. Let's see. The weather outside was really nice today, but Kirsten and I didn't really go anywhere. It's just kind of boring outside. Let's try this. Let me try this. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, all right. Okay, we're going back over here. What do we got? Clicking on one of these. Going off other similar PSA submissions I'm seeing on Reddit, mine should be finished within the next 2-3 weeks. Yeah, you sure about that? I don't know. All right, let's see what we got here. So here's this. That is not in English. That's Italian. What about this one? Let's see this. I don't like this one. Get out of there. How about this one? Nope, I don't like the seller. Dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. Guess we ought to go for this long crimp as well, right? Because we have a long crimp. That's what we've got. We've got a long crimp pack. Yeah. We'll take this on. All right. So I've chosen a pack, and now we're restocking on jungle. And that looks like a really good jungle pack we have right there. So this is going to be fun. Good. And then after that, what are we looking at? Probably this one right here. All right. One moment. There we go. All right, so I know that took a little while, but we were going ahead and picking up some replacement jungle packs, right? Looks like the price of this break will be $45. It's more like 46 actually. 46. So let's go over here. Harry Potter will continue, but he's going to be in a separate holder, and we're going to continue having an expensive split like we're supposed to. So the expensive split keeps spinning. There we go. The world keeps spinning. Can I send you a card to add to my vault or whatever? I want your advice on grading, etc. Hey, how's it going? Here we are. Okay. We'll set this here. It'll be 46. 11 out of 11. There we go. Set that there. And let's grab, what was this? This was some kind of gym break, wasn't it? We'll throw that away. Good. So let's grab this. We got Harry Potter. It'll be 6, 11 out of 11, huh? Okay. Ooh, I got to sneeze. I got to call my barber and ask him to give me a TCC cut. Oh, yeah? The last time I had a haircut with the barber was many years ago when I was around like 18 or 19 and I had a girlfriend at the time, and we'd always buzz cut our hair as kids. And now my hair was pretty long and I just needed it to be buzz cut again, and I didn't own my own hair cutter yet. So I went to this place that my sisters would get their hair cut at in St. Peters, Missouri. And it was a hairdressing school. And so the haircuts were very cheap. And I went in and I told the lady I just want all my hair removed. And she's like, really? I was like, uh-huh. And the charge for that was like $6. It was really cheap. It was like $5 or $6. And then after that, you can tip them. But I didn't leave a tip because I was really young and because I thought it was just really easy to shave your head. That was the last time I officially had my hair cut by another human being. After that, I bought a pair of hair buzzers and proceeded to cut my own hair for the rest of my life. So I have the same haircut every single time. If my hair gets long enough, I buzz all of it off. And I don't know how much money I saved doing that over the years, but it must have been a lot. Here we are. Sort of like a rule, never spend money on your hair. You guys spend money on your hair. Think about how many Pokemon cards that could have been. That could have been so many Pokemon cards, bro. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 people in here. So this is the Harry Potter break. Okay. I gotta ask my barber. Ask him to give me the TCC cut. You guys want some of my hair? Every time I buzz my hair, I put it in a box. There we are, because the box goes on the counter while I'm cutting my own hair, and the hair falls into the box. There we are. Get a mohawk. YouTube how and bam, instant coolness. Oh, I would be so cool. I never thought about that. All the girls will want me. Harry Potter. There we go. Oh, yeah. All right. Happy Sunday, guys. How was your Sunday, everybody? You guys have a good Sunday? Let me know about it. Be sure to smash that like button for me, okay? So we got 26 viewers. Stream just started. People are kind of coming in, and let's get that like button up. Hey, what's up, Apex Robbie? How's it going, man? How are things shaking for you? So here's a SpongeBob SquarePants, and we're going to increase the price on this, and then he's going to be available for sale. I like this card a lot. Semi-tempted to just keep it, actually. But we better just sell it. We are. All right, that's SpongeBabadoo. Here is the mark giveaway. We'll be handing it out based on who holds the crown. It would just be a random timing when I actually hand it out. So who has it right now? BXR, you would have it if we were handing it out right now. But we aren't. Not yet. We are. So hold on to it, though. And then, ooh, this beautiful... It's good that Mickey Mouse Adventures. It's good that Minnie carried her umbrella with her when she went out, because she would have spoiled her new hat. It's surely raining hard. Always carry your umbrella when it rains. Every day, Mickey Mouse brings you a new recipe and new adventure wrapped with the new Mayor's Loaf. Scalloped crab, shrimp, or lobster. 4 tablespoons of butter. 2 cups light cream. A dash of pepper. Half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. 2 cups of crab, shrimp, or lobster cut into half-inch pieces. 1/4 cup soft buttered crumbs. 4 tablespoons of flour. Oh, I see. They got a little base going there with the flour and the butter. Half a teaspoon of salt. 2 tablespoons of parsley. Dash of cayenne pepper. Oh, wow. Dash of paprika. Melt the butter in a saucepan, add flour, and stir to a smooth paste. Add cream and cook until thickened. Add seasoning, Worcestershire, half the parsley and fish. Pour in a well-greased casserole. They're talking about a dish called a casserole. Sprinkle crumbs and remaining parsley over the top. Bake in moderate oven, 350 degrees, or until crumbs are browned. Make 6 small servings. So I guess the breadcrumbs are meant to come from their Mayor's New Loaf. Wow. You want to be a good chef, don't you? It's 1937, and if you're not good at cooking, you're virtually useless. You're unmarriable as a woman. You keep all your hair clippings. What are you going to make away one day? I'm going to make a TCC pillow where it's like it's a body pillow, right? And it's filled with my real hair. That's a good question. I don't actually save all my hair. I throw the box away. So, but I mean, every time I cut my hair, there's hair in the box. So, I guess I could have been saving my hair for like 20 years. That'd have been pretty effing strange. Did you hear about the fire in Reno? Oh yeah, I've been watching that. Pretty interesting. It is fascinating because Kirsten and I have thought a lot about moving to Reno. We've talked about it many times. Like last year we were talking about it. You know, I was like, oh, we should go to Reno. And so, you know, now we know high desert can definitely get a forest fire. And it doesn't have to have trees. It just has to have, you know, forest grass and forest brushes. Or brush or whatever. What do you guys think of this beautiful Mickey Mouse bread card? It's a bread card. That's what it is. You know, I thought that the grade was pretty harsh. They only gave it a 2. How's that only a 2? I mean, from what I can tell, it's in fantastic condition. Is it off center? Sure. But I mean, how's that a 2? It looks great. Look at the back of the card. It just looks clean. The front of the card looks clean. It doesn't look like it's all scratched up or anything. So they gave that a 2 for some reason. And to me, it looks like a 4 or something, 4 or 5 at least. So anyways, I acquired that recently. I'm all about those really, 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 really old Mickey Mouse cards right now. Been enjoying them, been watching them go up in price. Disney collectors, they're on about Lorcana, you know, and Topps Disney. And so why wouldn't they also eventually pay attention to hyper rare 1930s Disney cards? All right. They're way too harsh on those. The news said it was caused by a human, and I only guessed collects. Yeah, I mean, that's been going on a lot recently. Humans are starting these fires, whether on purpose, like an arsonist, or by accident, you know, like a campfire. But society's just full of angry people, crazy people now, and yeah, then they go do this kind of stuff. It's all over the place. It feels like it. You know, it's like everything feels pretty crazy these days. All right, let me throw this away. All right. How about this Pikachu here? I love this McDonald's Pikachu. He's looking good. McDonald's Pikachu. So I think it's safe to say McDonald's Pikachu did not get reprinted. And so we're going to see this card costing just quite a bit more now. All right. So I see a price tag on him. And we're going to go ahead and place this into, I guess, the live customs. So I'm going to start there. Yeah, where's the McDonald's collab? Didn't happen. And now this card is a flip for some. I was buying him at $60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Feel free to start placing orders, guys. We're about to get started. But we're going to toss this Pikachu in. So we've got a new Jungle Pack break. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, nice Pikachu going into the live customs now. Okay. Pikachu McDonald's P10. To be almost 100 years old, those cards look really good. That's what I'm saying, man. They're like, that's a 2. Are you kidding? It's a 100-year-old card, and it's got good coloration, and corners look decent. Yeah, I don't understand the 2. I think that grade is wrong. And if I were to send it back in, I would be like, how did this one only get a 2? I don't understand. Like, what does it do wrong? This, and here's this. PSA, their grading isn't perfectly objective, you know? It's just sort of opinion. And people trust the PSA brand, but, man, That's a rough one, I'd say. There we go. Pikachu's in the live customs. Would you guys like to take a look and see what's inside of the live customs? I know you would. Let's see what's in here. All right, we'll do a little zoom out. Give me a minute here. There we go. A little zoom out. All right, first of all, the box is pretty full. That's a full box. When it comes to live customs, they're typically much more expensive cards, so it's very hard to fill that box out. So let's see what we got in here. Pikachu. This is a pristine Mega Hawlucha. Here's a Mega Marty, Mega Grimmsnarl. Tentacool. Here's Tangela. Pristine Squirtle. The High Ground, Refractor, really nice. A pristine Regigigas from 2022. See a lot of pristine cards in there because they were one of the things that weren't selling because I had the price real high. So what did I do? I lowered the price. Here's a pristine Coughing. Totodile 10. That's great. Actually, this price is really good on this. Ooh, is this too far away? Okay, we have a little closer. Here's Scissor 10 for 150. That's pretty good. I didn't realize it was just a regular gold poker card. I had it priced wrong earlier. I had it like for $300. Now it's $150. Here's a lovely Snivy. Here's a Dawn. Here is a CGC Pristine Neo Revelation First Edition. And here is the Chase card. It's a $400 Misty's Goldeen from Jim Heroes. Here's Psyduck Pristine. So a lot of pristine cards in there. Someone moved to Reno and moving trucks left and then the fire started right after. I would cry. Man, yeah, I mean, if Karis and I had moved there a year ago and we just happened to move in that area, we could have... Oh, look at that. Now that... Oh, that's so stupid. There it goes. Okay, we gotta be careful with that. If you touch the screen wrong, it thinks that you want it to focus in a certain spot. This is pretty good. PSA 9 First Edition Holographic. Here comes Team Rocket. Gyarados 10. Sandslash 10. Dark Arbok still in there. That's pretty cool. Here's Salamence 10 for 50 bucks. Charizard. Ooh, I like that. That's a nice pull, man. Got a nice Charizard 10 pull. You guys are crashing my cabin. Here's Noctowl. Here's Meltan. Here's Dark Electrode. Here's Deoxys. Here's Alakazam. We got this Hitmonlee. We got Dark Gyarados. Look how many good cards are in this live custom. It's truly loaded. Moltres 7. That's from Rocky Returns. This unusually expensive Squirtle. I guess he just looks really good. Here's Raikou 10, Mewtwo 10, and Charizard 8. So there you have it. That's in the live custom. Did someone win the Mark Store credit? Yeah, that one ended a few days ago. Now we're on to another Mark giveaway. He's a generous guy. And this time he's hosting a giveaway on an Overframe Yu-Gi-Oh card. So this is a rare Yu-Gi-Oh card. We got these 3 booster packs that you guys can join if you'd like to support the channel here. Harry Potter base set for $6. Really, really, really cheap. This is brand new. We just started this right now. Jungle Split. And this, it's the Topps pack split, which I think is about to go off. Somebody sent in an order for that, I'm pretty sure. So let's go take a look, guys. All right, off to the orders. The stream has begun. So let's see, we already processed this. Okay, we already processed that. That's what I was thinking about. Okay. This one was $12.51. That's a pre-order. And then we did Uber Eats. I got Uber Eats and the item was like $20. But to actually get it all the way shipped over here and to tip the driver, it got all the way up to like 50 bucks. Isn't that wild? Crazy. So that's Cash App. So I don't think we have any PayPal orders yet. Ooh, let me close these eBay browsers. We don't need these. Close all 3 of those. And then let's head over here to the website. Just watched your video about moving, went through and liked all the hater comments. There were a lot. Were there people hating? Wait, so was that the long form video I posted a little while ago? Let's see. What are you talking about, Mr. Hawkeye? Let's see. Let's jump over here to videos. Is it this one? The getting the hell out of Missouri? Yeah, I haven't checked on the comments on that one in a while. If you want no crime, go to Idaho. Stay away from California. Thanks, mister. I've made thousands watching and buying slabs on Cyberway. I wish you did videos like this regularly. Here's my my cousin. He posted on it. Rip and Ship. How come no one gave you any credit? I don't think everyone knows. Let's see. Living down in Boot Heel, Missouri. He's living in the Boot Heel of Missouri, Mr. Jarbo. He says, this crap sucks. The sheer amount of poverty and drugs down here is insane. One of the worst places to live in Missouri is that little tooth in the bottom right-hand side, bottom right-hand corner. Dallas might be sprawling, but the traffic is also miserable. Let's see. Born and raised in Las Vegas, been here for 33 years. Vegas is great. It's getting more popular. Land prices are getting crazy because we're running out of room. Born and raised in Sevier County, Tennessee. Been a fan of Houston for 4 or 5 years. Is this guy, let's see, U.S. atheist infidel? What the fuck? Here, let's see. He says, I don't think you have an understanding at all about the economy. At least you didn't demonstrate any economic knowledge in this video. I mean, it just sounds like you're a spoiled rich kid who has never dealt with real economic issues like ever. Calling Europe communist at the very least indicates that you're absolutely ignorant. Yeah, I don't know anything about poverty, I guess. Let's see. Crazy. I didn't know there was wackadoos posted in there. That's funny, dude. Funny this video came across my feed. As a resident of Missouri and working in Kansas along with a huge number of others, since Kansas City is in both states, this amendment would have screwed me and a huge amount of others. I would have continued to pay taxes to Kansas on my paycheck, but wouldn't have received a resident tax either. He's basically sad because he's a resident of Kansas rather than Missouri. So the amendment is good if you're a Missourian, but bad if you're a Kansian, I don't know how you say it, who then comes to Missouri a lot. So I don't know how can he complain? He's not actually in Missouri. Let's see. Wow, there was a lot of messages in this video. I'm from Missouri, and it's anything but boring here. There is always something to do here if you know where to look and you have money. Okay. Missouri is another hellhole red state. The desert is great. Keeps getting hotter, though. Whoa, this guy, USA atheist infidel, posted like 12 times on this video. I didn't know that. Oh my God. He's like talking in every single comment, too. Wow, that guy must be nuts, dude. All right. Crazy, man. Let's see. Mister was a spoiled rich kid. I'll make a video about my shoes or something sometime. Infidel is projecting. Wow, I didn't know it got that many replies, comments, because it only got like 2,700 views. So I must have really triggered somebody. It's probably the picture I took for the thumbnail. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here's an email from Mr. Chad. How do I cancel the order on the website? The order was placed on August 2nd. It is the one being canceled. Thank you. All right, let me answer him. I can try and cancel it from my side, maybe? I saved your booster packs. They're unopened. You can come by anytime and I could just open them for you like regular. All right, let me answer him, see how he responds to that, and then I'll try to get him a refund on that. Let me get rid of this junk email. And then we have this order from Michael Pettiford, who wants shipping for my BGS slab and bag if I have one. All right, first order is going to be a shipping round. Miss Alexis is in on Monday to do the shipping, so it is a good time to do shipping. That's crazy. Yeah, oh, that was very interesting. I hadn't really checked the comment section at all on that video. I didn't really think to. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video. Is Mia. So basically the video is me talking about how disappointed I was that Missouri voted no to becoming a no-tax state, because now it's my optimal business move is to take my small business out of Missouri into another state. So that's what I was talking about. And I was saying stuff like, why can Texas do it? Why can Florida do it? Why can Tennessee do it? Why can Nevada do it? But we can't do it. All right, it doesn't look like Michael Pettiford had a bag, so let's go ahead and just get him a label for his one slab. So, it's just kind of disappointing because if Missouri had passed a law to become a no-tax state, I probably would have stayed. That's what would have happened. I probably would have stayed. And I really thought most people wanted that. I thought most people want to be a no-tax state. So I was really disappointed with the vote. And that's why the whole last month it's just been me talking about where to move. You know, we're paying attention to that forest fire in Reno going, ooh, maybe not. You know, so in the desert, you're going to have to pay attention to even, you know, like wild grass and stuff if you don't want to be a victim of a wildfire. I don't think Vegas would have as much of a shot at a wildfire. All right, so this is going to say Michael Pettyford for good. But anyways, that's pretty funny being called like a rich, spoiled brat or something like that. He doesn't know me very well. Make a reply to the infidel atheist. You want me to? Talk about projection, not about your shoes. Don't give in. There were a lot of solid arguments in there, says Mr. Hawkeye. That sounds like an incel name. I didn't see too many arguments, actually. The one guy from Missouri, he argued that... he wasn't from Missouri. The one guy from Kansas, I meant to say. He lives in Kansas, but he works in Missouri. And he was saying how it's not a good thing for him because he doesn't actually benefit from the no tax status, but he'll have to pay the higher you know, sales tax and stuff like that. And it's like, well, if you're not from Missouri, how can you complain? Maybe you should, if Missouri became a no tax state, you should just relocate to the Missouri side of Kansas City. That's all. They probably play chess. I've never heard of a wildfire in Vegas. Yeah, and you know, when you really think about it, how can a wildfire in Vegas spread? I don't think it would be able to because there would be so much road that the fire trucks could just get to any house that's on fire and just put it out. So, yeah, I don't think there's a risk of wildfire being spread throughout that area. Come on now, give me the price on that label. This machine's so slow at that. All right, so while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and take a look at the next order. We have an order from... Could be a slow night, guys. Sundays are pretty slow. I'm looking and I'm not seeing any orders so far. So the website's clear. PayPal is clear. ZELLE is clear. And we just had our Michael Pettiford shipping, and that was it, which we're waiting for the label to fill up. So currently we have no orders in the queue. The queue is open. That guy was judging a book by its cover. Yeah. I mean, you know, I think there's people who are kind of meeting us and meeting me for the first time. And they don't really know anything about, you know, where we came from or what it was like in the past. Here we go. All right, we got the label. Print. Do a response video where you say, here in my garage, and show Alexa's working. What? Okay, let's grab this. All right. There we go. And I'll fold this in half. This is all set to go. Titled Projecting. When people are crying from the inside now, they want hugs and told how pretty they are. Now, I probably won't make a video like that, though. I mean, the whole subject of, you know, the whole Missouri thing, that's kind of in the past now. It's over now. And now, you know, it's suboptimal to be here, and we should pick our roots up out of the ground and transplant to a state that is designed to be an optimal place to buy, sell, and trade cards. That's just a business decision. And I think I shared a link in our Discord server in the news channel, and it was this clip I ran across. The CEO of Coinbase. You guys know Coinbase, right? That's the major, you know, crypto trading company that allows people to open an account and then trade crypto back and forth. So it's like a bank account for crypto for normies. And that guy he was giving an interview where he's talking about leaving California. He was talking about how, hey, you know, California is doing this extra tax on top of all the other taxes that we already pay. And he says, and we don't even think California uses the tax well. He says, I think it goes to corruption. That's what he said. And so he said, we may have to move out of California by the end of the year. That's what he was saying. So he was talking about how taxes was affecting his business and making him think about, well, why don't we relocate? Again, where do you think he's going to relocate? He's going to choose South Dakota, Wyoming, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Nevada. I don't think he's going to choose Alaska. It's so far away. Alaska's a cool state, though. Very pretty. All right, let's see. But that's going on a lot. And that was my theory, by the way. So my theory is not just that people will move there for the tax benefits. They'll move there because over 50 years, the country is going to keep reorganizing itself that way. You're going to see a lot of people moving where the tax structure benefits their business. And if that goes on for like 50 years, all the opportunities are going to be over there, you know? All the opportunities will be in those states. All right, here we are. Can we have drunk packs that are aimed for girls? Drunk packs. She's got a drinking problem, guys. I'm just kidding. All right. You're talking about Waifu packs, basically, with like lots of dudes in it. Here's some dudes, Mario and Luigi. I guess I would be a little concerned with how well packs that are just like strictly, I guess like ripped guys or something, I'd be a little concerned with how those would sell. In theory, it would do well. But here's the other problem. Where would I be sourcing these cards from? Because the key to the junk packs, I get all those cards from trades and from abandoned bags and just all kinds of places, right? Well, if I'm not making a lot of trades for guide cards, how am I going to keep a supply of those? And in fact, I think the current rounds of junk packs, those are going to run dry someday. We're actually going to run out of those. So we're going to run out of cards to place into the junk packs, and then they won't be on the menu anymore. They'll be sold out. Ooh, doesn't this look nice? Ace of Clubs, Mario, pristine 10. Love it. All right, let's get some stickers on these guys. We have no orders in the queue. You get a whole new audience. A whole new... Hey, what's up, Mr. NHCC? The CEO of Citadel called out the mayor of New York law. We are. Right now, you have two ways of thinking about business. There's a big wealth gap, and people want to basically tax those who have a lot. They say, hey, we need to raise taxes on them. And then those guys get that message from the people, and they say, okay, well, I'm relocating to Tennessee. That's what they do. They say, okay, well, I'm out of here then, I guess. And so I think that the smartest way to go about taxing the wealthy is to tax them up to the point, but just before they're willing to leave. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to find like a supply-demand balance where it's like you're taxing as much as you can, but not enough that they're willing to leave. If you tax them so much that they're willing to leave, they leave, and then you collect zero taxes on them. No sales tax, no income tax, no property tax, nothing. All this taxes they were paying goes to zero. So that's the trick. That's why if taxes were such a good thing, why don't we just raise it to 99%? Well, because everyone would leave. And so the question is, what is the right balance? What's the right equilibrium? A lot of it just comes down to competition. So like they're looking out going, okay, I really like where I live. It offers this amenities and the quality of life is ranked A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Like S tier, A tier, B tier. So they're ranking the quality of life against, how many, the quality of the workers and also, like the, what kind of business environment it is. And then finally the taxes, right? They're doing a sort of like a rewards cost, analysis. And if you make it too unappealing, they go, well, look at that. They got Smoky Mountains in the Tennessee. I'm heading to the Smoky Mountains. And then all the people who are super pissed and super angry and they hate the rich and they just want to eat them and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All those people lose all that money they were taking from those people. So it's sort of like, I guess my message is this. Don't get too greedy. Because if you're too greedy, if you take it too far, you lose. It's a game you can't win at some point. It's unwinnable. Maybe at the federal level, you can raise the taxes, but a different problem occurs then at the federal level. So let's say you raise the federal taxes. First of all, I guess what I would say is at the federal level, if the government collects more taxes from corporations, it won't necessarily give you those taxes. So if you're living in California and the federal taxes go up, does that federal tax then get allocated to California? It might go to West Virginia. So you don't know where it's going to be allocated. But the second problem becomes this. At some point, if the American tax structure gets too high at the federal level so that you can't just escape it in Tennessee, well, then that person might be tempted to open up his business in China, or Canada or Mexico. They go, oh, you know what? I might just have to open this business in Mexico now because it doesn't make any sense to do it here. So once again, you have to have a competitive tax structure, but not a fantasy for a tax structure. Tax structure can't just be like getting your revenge on the rich. Oh, I have to get revenge on them. I hate them. If that's your mindset, you're just going to screw it up. You have to use like reason, and you have to create you have to create a balance. Those are my thoughts on it. That's how let's see. Someone's drunk, cough, cough. You should click this and upload it. Response to atheist infidel. Yeah. Here, let's see this. So, we do need taxes, and we need to make sure that when the government brings money in, it actually uses it on stuff that we care about, which it probably won't. Because the government doesn't like to do that. Wow, look at this. So cute, man. So we do need taxes. we live like a group, right? We're like a beehive, and we all live together and we share the same space. For example, if the government were to raise taxes on companies in a certain way, where if they're polluting, and there was like a pollution tax, I'd be okay with that, right? So there's way to tax companies that incentivize them to behave better. That's like a regulatory tax. And the money the government raises from like a pollution tax, they can then use it to work on clean air, clean water, you know, keeping chemicals from pouring into like, you know, like, I don't know, like marshy areas, I don't know, the ocean. So I think all that stuff is super reasonable. But again, if you make the business environment too regulatory and too severe, and then Mexico comes around and says, come over here and pollute, well, you're going to lose all the jobs. They're actually going to go over there to Mexico, and you will lose those jobs, and nobody will have a job anymore. All right, guys, it's a slow stream. I'm officially declaring it a slow stream. We're at the beginning of the Sunday stream. We're pricing up some of these beautiful slabs. We have no orders in the queue. Happy Sunday night, by the way, guys. Did you have a good Sunday? I hope you guys had a really good Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and grab another card here. We got this, look at this guy. He graded 9.5, huh? 9.5. That is such a tough grade to get from CGC, huh? So, or from, not CGC, from Beckett. You know, and so this is from 2020, huh? I might price it one time, and if it doesn't sell, I might then crack it and regrade it. Okay? I'll stop being lazy and type. Let's see. That's how guys can get me with drunk packs. Let's try this out. This is Gengar V Shiny Star? Shiny Star. Anyways, if you're a person who works a job, low taxes is good for you. Low taxes hurts people who don't work the most. So the person who gets punished the most with low taxes is someone who has no tax to pay because they don't contribute, they don't work. So, you know, that's what's interesting about it. And if you have a country where no one wants to work and nobody has a job, you're going to have a whole bunch of people that want to make sure the taxes are high. So it's a very, in my opinion, a very dangerous situation to be in. Wow, a lot of guys from China trying to sell this card. So interesting. I think China, you know, they want to become a major hub for, you know, these Pokemon cards. All right. There's plenty of people that don't pay tax that do work. Yeah, well, there is, because some people are paid in cash, and some people are living in no tax states, maybe. We are. Or maybe they have so many, like, kids or so many, you know, ways to get sort of like a tax rebate or whatever it is. What do they call that when you can lower your taxes? Here it is. So they have some way to lower their taxes naturally. Okay, here we are. There we go. Corporations being the main culprit. Here we are. You know, I don't know if that's true. I think corporations actually pay a ton of taxes, don't they? I think you heard Bernie Sanders say something like Amazon found a way not to pay as much taxes, basically. And the reason for that was because Amazon didn't report profits. Well, how did Amazon not report any profits? Because it took all of the profits and it used it to build another factory for people to work in. So since the money was spent, it didn't count as profits. No one got paid. Like the owner of the company didn't get paid. The shareholders, they didn't get paid. No one got paid. So instead of being paid from the profits that they earned, another factory was built, and then a whole bunch of people got hired to work in it. And the government then says, okay, well, we don't tax that when you behave that way because we want you to build a factory. Where will everyone have jobs if no one builds a factory? So the government says it creates incentives for corporations to do that. It says, please take your profits, don't pocket it, spend it, put it back in the economy, hire a group of people to build this thing. All the construction workers got jobs now. And those construction workers, they pay a tax when they get paid. And then put all these workers inside of the factory when it's done. What do all those workers do when they get paid? Or they also pay taxes. So if Amazon had no profits to report because it spent that year expanding, well, then it's ultimately a driver for the economy, and the government collects its taxes anyways. So you have to think of a corporation not just as like an individual or like shareholders. A corporation is a whole, it's a whole beehive itself. And if the beehive is behaving correctly, the government says, all right, well, your corporate profits don't get taxed because you've hired like 1 million people and they do get taxed. So it looks evil, but it's not. It's the company deciding not to pocket the money, but to expand and give more people jobs, which is ultimately a good thing. And Amazon won't do that every year necessarily. Amazon did it that year, and then Bernie Sanders got very mad at it. But he didn't like educate you at what did Amazon do to pay less taxes that year. Here we are. The government wants us to build businesses. It incentivizes you with tax breaks and loopholes. With more tax breaks and loopholes than if you're an employee. Yeah, exactly. So the government wants you to build a factory, and it says we will reward you with tax breaks if you build it. But really, all Amazon had to do is not keep its own money, just spend it back into the economy. And the government says, well, this company didn't make any money. They spent it. All right, let's see. So we're hitting refresh. Amazon has the highest case of workplace abuse in the country, by the way. I'm not a fan of workplace abuse. I don't really know what you mean by that. Like, I don't have like evidence or proof pulled up in front of my face. Whenever someone makes a big claim like that, I feel like you have to actually go look it up. People make claims like that all the time. Ooh, the Lego Kanto badges break. Don't forget, we got a box of Kanto badges Lego, and it's 1 in 9 odds. So if you told me they were the largest abuser, I think I would probably say something like they probably employ the most people. They do, or Walmart does. They're one of the biggest businesses ever. And so just the sheer number of people who work there, you're going to have more complaints, Like, you don't get a lot of workplace complaints at Cardconomist. You know why? Because it's just me and Alexis and Mike's side. So we don't have the ability to have a lot of workplace complaints. But Amazon does, because it actually gives so many people, a paycheck. They get paychecks from Amazon. Here we are. All right, we got Shanks and Pikachu. Those are very nice. We got the Mega Tyranitar. Very nice. Yeah, like the homeless guy down the street who's like bent over doing fentanyl, he doesn't cut your paycheck. So you're never going to write up a complaint about him. You might complain that he's taking a poop on the sidewalk, but he's never going to give you a paycheck. The only person who's able to give you a paycheck is Amazon. Amazon actually has something going on. And then, you get into a dispute, or you don't agree with the way they did something, or maybe they genuinely did something that's not right, and you complain about it, you file a complaint, and then what do you know? Amazon is the company that has complaints. But it's like, I think that's just kind of the nature of it if you're the one employing everybody. Here's the Pikachu sublist. Take a look at that. There's one spot left for $33. Here's Harry Potter 6, 11 out of 11. There's 4 people in there. So if there's 4 people, we got 7 spots left on that. Here is the new Flareon Jungle Break. It's not Japanese, it's English. And it's unweighed, so maybe it's a heavy pack. And here's our Tops pack. How many people are in the Tops pack, by the way? So the Tops pack keeps going off over and over and over and over again. But let's see, we started a new round of it. Here's the expensive booster. Do we have the cheap booster nearby? Let's see. Oh, here it is, the cheap split. All right, we got Chris A. and Ryan Trejo. Very nice. Amazon is horrible to the workers, but people will always buy from them. There it is. Yeah, a long time ago, Amazon didn't exist, and people just complained about Walmart all day long. That's how it was. So, I'm old enough to remember that. I'm 37. And there was a time before Amazon where all you heard about was how evil Walmart was. That's all you heard. You just heard Walmart's the great evil. And now I'm older and people complain about Amazon. You know what it is? It sucks. It just sucks. Jobs in general suck. Somebody tells you to go do something and it requires you to get on a lift, or it requires you to pick up something that weighs 70 pounds, or it requires you to work extended hours. Maybe it's poorly lit. Maybe you work with a chemical. This just goes on and on and on, because that's the nature of work. You get paid to do something that people don't want to do. You don't get paid to eat ice cream and look at boobs on the internet. You get paid to do something nobody wants to do. That's why it pays money. That's a really important thing to remember too. You only get paid money because you're doing something no one else wants to do. And so that includes maybe some dangerous activities. That includes maybe some activities where you can get injured. Now, if there was a systemic, issue with Amazon where they tell their workers, hey, while you're working, you should do really dangerous things, they're going to get sued into oblivion, you know? So they're going to get sued if they do that kind of stuff, and maybe they already are getting sued. But, you know, if you watch it, you're not going to see that last for very long, because Amazon's full of a bunch of smart people who actually run the company. They say, we don't want to get sued. You know what I mean? We don't want to get sued. So most likely, if you're hearing a lot of injuries coming out of Amazon, I would probably bet Amazon has a bunch of rules on safety, and then the people working there maybe don't follow those rules. They go, well, you know, I'll skip that rule. Or, oh, I'm going to get a better time if I can skip this rule and climb on this conveyor belt or something like, you know what I mean? Or maybe there's something inherent to the job that's technically more dangerous. I don't actually know these things. I'm just placing a bet on why it might have more injuries. If it's even true, if it has like a more injuries per capita, the per capita number is what you would want, right? All right, the drivers didn't get benefits. Let's toss this over here. Hey, what's up, Mr. Thim? How's it going, man? Mister, you're being too logical. The liberals can't handle when people use basic logic. And for me, this subject is not Republican versus liberal or conservative versus liberal. It's just a matter of education, and the better educated you are, the you know, the more tools you have in your toolbox, and the more you can make sense of how things are. So it's like, you know, you've never ran a company. I've never really ran a company, but you've never ran a company. And the more things you go out and do in the world, the more a lot of the rules start to make sense. The more the way things work just kind of makes sense. It's like, you have to not look at it like there's some guy twirling a handlebar mustache. No, let the workers suffer. You know, like that's not going on. Other things that are going on, it's more probably like on a computer. It's like, all right, well, we got to get all these things moved, and you know what I mean? And then there's a bunch of people. It's like a whole system, right? Full of so many people that it's like no one person has control over all the levers and all the, you know, all the buttons. It's this huge beehive, you know, and maybe the beehive needs to be nudged one way or the other, and you can ask the government to do that. But it's so big at this point. It's beyond any one person's, you know, control. And so, and it provides all these jobs. So it's like, if you ever shut Amazon down because you're like, oh, well, Amazon's net bad for society. Well, where are all these people going to go work then? You got a job for them? I don't have a job for them. So ultimately, it's a job nobody wants, maybe, but it's like, it is a job. Like, do you want to get paid? I want to get paid. There are a lot of people who rely on those jobs. And for everyone that you hear like complaining about Amazon, somebody at Amazon's like, actually, it's a pretty decent job. There's lots of hours. They have benefits. You have a pathway to growth. If you work really hard, they promote you from within, you know. Walmart's that way too, actually. It might surprise you to learn that some people really love Walmart. They're like, yeah, Walmart was the reason I was able to retire. So some people really love those companies. We are. All right, we got Pidgeotto and Muck. Let's see, Pidgeotto goes here, and Muck goes here. I'm preserving Pokemon donuts. Imagine you did, though. Imagine you, like, kept them in a freezer or something so they never molded. Or maybe, like, an airtight container. I don't know how that would work, actually. I think they would have to mold at some point. We are. It's about education, but liberals refuse to be educated on this. Freeze! So, Mitch Connor, you thought you could leave Eric Cartman's hand and go to Mr. Hand, huh? Well, you can't Selena your way out of this one. You're going away for a long time. You'll never catch me, coppers. Whatever. All right, let's get this going. We have an order from Miss Jody. I'm just going to sell the donut box. Yeah, I've heard about that. People are selling the donut box itself. Crazy says, we got health insurance, no dental vision or anything like that, but compared to the warehouse workers, they got everything because they work for Amazon. We work for a subcontractor. Here's Mr. Jody. He says junk packs. She says junk packs times 4. You got it. All right, 4 junk packs. Let's get it. All right. It's very, very easy to complain about a corporation that's giving people actual jobs. The same way you can, like, watch the like summer or winter Olympics and be like, they missed the jump? I could have done that. You know what I mean? It's very easy to complain about them. But if you go out there and you get your hands dirty, let's say it was up to you to run a warehouse and you got to, you know, you got this multi-billion-dollar building system on your hands with, like, technology, security, lawyers, healthcare, you know, and HRs and a million workers who want to sue you because they think you got a lot of money on your hands. And, you know, when you actually get put in charge of those things, it all starts to kind of become clear how it's all sort of operating. Like, it's not like a Hollywood movie or anything like that. It's not a Hollywood movie. It's not so exciting. Here it is. All right, what we got here? The politicians turn it into a Hollywood movie. That's what they do. And they have a reason for that. The politician's job is to influence you into voting for them. So their job is to influence you, and then they will say whatever they have to say, and then you'll go vote for them, I suppose. Here's Go Feed. That's true for Republicans and Democrats. They both say whatever it is they have to say to get you to vote for them. That's the truth. Wow, that looks really nice. Look at that Emoga. Durant, Neuvern. Here's Aaron. Ooh, here's Kuzan. That's from OP9. You got double Kuzans? Yeah, they all just say whatever it is they got to say to get a vote from you, and then they bop off. And like Trump said, hey, we'll stop the Ukraine war in one day, right? Remember he said that? He said that over and over again. And then he got elected, and guess what didn't end in one day? The Ukraine war. Because what he was doing is what all politicians do. They just tell you whatever it is most likely to get you to vote for them. And that's their job. Their job is influence. They don't actually always solve problems. They're just good at influence. Almost like a preacher, like a TV preacher. There you go. TV preacher's job is to get you to put money in a basket. That's their job. So they just say all the stuff. They get you riled up and gives you goosebumps. And you're like, whoa, wow. This guy really cares about me. He loves me. He wants to be my friend. He wants to send me to heaven. And oh yeah, he just told me to give him $1,000. Here we are. Here's this. So that's kind of how the whole world is operating. Those guys who speak at the high level, you know, like those TV preachers and all that, they're really good at what they do. And they're so good at it that you actually go, oh, wow, they're authentic or something. Or they're, you know, they're not just trying to squeeze me like a lemon. But ultimately, what do they really do? They squeeze you like a lemon. There you go. Are you ready? Oh, speaking of a lemon, look at that. There's a lemon right there. Wow. Mr. My opponent is a liar and he cannot be trusted. I have papers right here that says he slept with children. People don't put themselves into other shoes. Assumptions made about ignorance. Crazy EMT. I heard Walmart employees get a store discount on everything. I bet that adds up. Yeah, I had that at Target. It was kind of sweet. Here it is. I got paid $7 an hour at Target, but I got an extra $1 because my job started at 4 a.m. So ultimately, my pay was $8 an hour, and it was a very rough job. I could get injured very easily at my job, and very high energy job, and just worked my little booty cheeks off, and would get like a $600 paycheck bi-weekly. Really wasn't that much money, but you know, it's just how it is. It's just how life is, you know. If you want a really good paycheck, you got to do something complicated. That's the trick. You got to do something complicated and rare, something that requires licensing or practice or knowledge. Like you have to memorize complicated formulas. So the more you want to get paid, you don't want to work at Amazon. You don't want to get abused by Amazon. Well, you need a better skill than just putting things on shelves, because that's ultimately what you're doing. You're putting things on shelves, or you're driving a box around or something like that, right? So it turns out so many people can do that the pool of people who can do that job is very large. And so therefore Amazon can kind of shop around until they find somebody who will do it very cheap because they're desperate. Now, but then when you get to something a little more complicated, like working with marble or something like that, well, fewer people have the skill and the strength and the knowledge to work with marble or granite countertops. So that job pays more money because now you have a smaller labor pool. It's called the labor market. The labor market, they're shopping for workers. So businesses shop for workers, and the simplest jobs have the largest pool for you to shop from. So this pushes the value of the job down. Doctors, you can't choose from a lot of doctors. There's just a couple people each year per area that finish like 14 years of education and years of residency. So you don't get a lot of options. You're just going to hire whatever doctor you're going to hire, and that's it. Compare that to fast food. There's a constant revolving door, right? So that's called the labor market. It's a market. Just like when you're shopping for Pokemon cards, a business shops for you. There it is. You want to make yourself rare, and then if you're rare, you're going to get paid really well. All right, Jody, with the J-O, you want to be rare. And you can only do that with practice, and you can only do that by exploring what you're passionate about. So if you're passionate about helping people with healthcare, you know, you're going to pursue some kind of healthcare certification, and you're going to apply to hospitals. And those are really good paying jobs, by the way. All right, we need another box up here. Do we got room for another box? Let's see. We don't got a box. Okay, let me go look for a box. I used to eat a lot of ice cream at Sam's Club because they put me permanently in the freezer cooler section. I worked at Sam's Club for like 6 months. It was great. That was where I worked. I worked in the fridge freezer area. I loved it. I love cold temperatures, so it was really nice. Here we are. Okay. Yeah, you had to use the forklift in the freezer, and it was kind of dangerous because the wheels would spin on the ice sometimes. All right. Good. So in the freezer, you had to be really careful. And then the fridge would eventually, it would get down to like the milk and the eggs. And there was always a milk egg smell in that freezer because the milk and eggs would spill. Broken eggs, broken milk. I loved working at Sam's Club because it was so peaceful and quiet. Nobody was there, and the managers left you alone as long as you did a great job. I really liked that job, but you know, it didn't pay a lot. I think Sam's Club was paying like $10.50 an hour, which was an upgrade from Target. And then I got the job at Coca-Cola, and that started at $12 an hour. So now I was making good money. I was making good money. All right, there we go. I don't think I ate any. I don't think I ate any of the ice cream though. I guess if you had broken ice cream boxes, you could probably steal an ice cream. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. 100 LMAO. When I was there, so many people got fired as employees for stealing. Oh, Jesus. Their discount at Walmart is called stealing. Oh, my gosh. I tell this story because I eventually got this job at Coca-Cola, right? I tell this story about Coca-Cola that's really nasty. It's a very funny story. Coca-Cola, when I'm on the job, there's no managers. Nobody watches me. So I'm just all by myself. That's how it works. I was called a big store merchandiser, and my job was to go to Walmart and Target and stock their shelves. Pretty simple, $12 an hour. And when you go into the back rooms, there would be a section for the Coca-Cola product. And the Coca-Cola product always had a little smaller area for broken Coca-Cola products, like, you know, like cans that popped open and were dented, or like, you know, like a 12-pack that fell apart or something, right? So what I would do, and because I just really enjoyed soda, actually, I would take one of those dented cans and drink it. Because it's like, who cares? They're throwing it away anyways half the time. They throw it away usually. And so one of my favorite things to do was I would take energy drinks. I loved damaged energy drinks. I'd look for one that's in the back. Maybe it's like all bulged out on the bottom. Pop it open. I'd leave it there too, you know, and I'd drink it. And eventually I decided, let's try this Honest Tea. So Coca-Cola has this product called Honest Tea. I guess I wasn't being very honest. I was more like, you know, 5-finger discount tea. I pop the cap off of it and drink it, and I get a big bulge of just like glump in my throat, whatever you want to call it. It was just like, it was like drinking seaweed. It was like a big foamy, nasty thing. And it left my throat itchy too. It was mold. I drank a big ball of mold out of the green tea bottle. And when I realized what it was, I thought I was going to throw up. It was so gross. The Honest Tea had not been removed from the shelf for being damaged. It had been removed from the shelf for being extremely expired. It was expired by like a year. And so it had molded on the inside. And I just drank a big glob of it. It was so disgusting, dude. Anyways, so there's my experience with our rotten Honest Tea. And I guess I got what was coming for me. But, you know, it was just made me a little more aware of what I was drinking. I was like, oh, Jesus. My job has the highest fatality rate in the state of Nevada. Be careful. All right, here's Mr. Athim. Please, BGS grade the Gengar, Pikachu, and Mewtwo Altarts. Yes, sir. So wait a second. Let me look at this again. BGS grade. Gengar, Pikachu, and Mewtwo Altarts. Did you mean to pre-grade it? Help me out here, Mr. Athim. Gengar, Pikachu, Mewtwo Altarts. You must be talking about your super awesome... Okay, it's not in here. Your super awesome God Pack. I do interstate stuff, drive to Utah, Arizona, California, but also a lot of stuff in Vegas. I sent $35 for 3 BGS grades. Oh, did you send more later? Is that what you did? Hold on, let me see. Missing from the other order. Ah, there we go. So the only problem with your submission here, BGS is closed, Mr. Athim. So that's the biggest issue. So BGS is closed, and we don't have a price for it at the moment. So Hathim, what I'd like to do for you now is take $80 and $25 and add them together, and it comes out to $105. So you have $105, and if you go look it up, BGS right now is shut down. They shut down just like PSA shut down. So sadly, we're waiting for them to open back up. Now, if you wish, you can set this money to the side. Let's see if you already have a card in here. You can set this money to the side. Looks like you do not have a card in here. Okay. And what you can do is save it so that you don't have to worry about having that money ready when it opens back up. Now, the question is, what will it be when it opens back up? Hopefully cheap. All right. So there it is. Hathim, you have $105 set to the side. And you can spend it now for fun if you want to open something, or you can save it for grading when BGS does open back up. But we do have to examine the cost of grading when it does open back up. I know it closed, but I wanted to prepay for it when it opens back up. Okay, so the only thing I have to say about that is we're assuming that it might open up at the same price as before. It's also a risk that they increase their price when they open back up. So we're just speculating on the price of grading at this point. So I'll set that money to the side for you, and then let's keep an eye on that, okay? We'll keep an eye on the price of grading as it goes by. But I hear you. So Gengar, Pikachu, and Mewtwo Altarts, all really good. I know what you're talking about. The Altart Gengar, Altart Pikachu, Altart Mewtwo. My uncle drove for Nestle, long haul, the stories he would tell me. Nice, dude. I always see the gallon jugs of Arizona tea with mold in them on the shelf. Ew. That's disgusting, dude. Yep, that's what I drink. We are having a verifiably slow Sunday night stream. We're now an hour in. Truck driving is pretty wild, says Mr. Magician's Hobby. What should we work on while we're just having not as much to do, huh? What should we work on? I say we could price up slabs. How about this guy? Ta-da! What do you guys think of these Bowsers, man? Aren't these amazing? I love these, man. These are so cool. Pristine 10 Bowsers. I'm supposed to be listing things on eBay too, but I absolutely hate doing it. Don't you guys hate listing things on eBay? Maybe I should hire somebody to do it for me again. Maybe what I should do, I should pick the price and then just let them list it from there. Yes. That Joker is awesome. Isn't it cool? That got a pristine 10 with Beckett, and I'm loving the new Beckett label. It feels so professional, by the way. We are. Endless things to collect, man. Endless things to collect. Oh, new stickers. All right, let's see. You know, it's interesting. Tuesday was pretty busy, actually. And it's actually Sunday that appears to be the slowest day of the week this week. So Sunday, slow day. Maybe Sunday would be a great day to host the Who's That Pokemon event. What do you guys think? Do you think that's smarter to do on a slow day or a fast day? We need like an event. I want to host more like fun things on special days. All right, we got these cool guys. Okay, there they are. Have you seen One Piece poker cards? I did see those one time. They were already really overpriced, so I didn't mess with them. Yeah, they were already really expensive. All right. Well, we're new audio device detected. What? Microphone array and AMD audio device. That sounds correct. I'm just going to close this. Weird. And here's a message from Louis. All right. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here, and we're going to hit accept on this friendship. Friend request. New friends. No problem. There we go. Responding to someone's message over there. OG Minecraft is still $30. Mister, you still have the PSA Bowser that's on eBay? Yes, I should have that. Is that? I don't remember what I priced it at. Yeah, it should be on eBay. All right. Let's brainstorm for event ideas. Can we price some new Pokemon slabs? Yeah, so we are rotating some slabs over here from the Z-Box. Let's get some of these up on the table. Look at this. This is one of those things I never sold. It's a Mario poker card, but it's been encapsulated backwards, which I didn't want them to do that, so I don't know why they did that. I don't know what to think of that. Here's Spinnerack from Gold Part 2, and it looks like I priced it as low as $100. Wow. Here's Wisp, Animal Crossing Wisp, and here's Red 5. Wow. I'm surprised this is only 90 because it is so hard to get these to grade 10. I feel like 90 is too low. Just studying it a little bit. And here's Warriors of the Force. Oh, that's cool too, man. Man, that's cool. All right, lots of slabs up on the table. Probably ready for another round of pictures here. Here's Sudowoodo. Waluigi. Here's this really nice Umbreon. That just made it to the table. Here's another Sudowoodo. I think the Waluigi should stay down. Oh, this is a consign. Ryan Trejo consignment. Here's Retro Mario, so that's relatively fresh. Pikachu Gift. I like Pikachu Gift. He's good. And then what do we got over here? Here's Toriko. Toriko's awesome. All right, picture time. Okay. I'll go ahead and grab these. Zooming in. Clicking that. All right. Very good. Charizard with the CH. Here's Sudowoodo with an S. And Toriko with the T, huh? Sudowoodo with an S, Toriko with the T, Pikachu with the P. So these go in the Z box. This goes into the P box. Good. Interesting that PSA put the poker cards in backwards. I feel that's more something Beckett would do. It's annoying, dude. How did they mess that up? Here's Scars. See, this is perfect for eBay. I feel like this should go up on eBay. All right. Here's the Yoga. Here's Weirtle. Oh, a Squirtle with no price tag on it. Let's get a price tag on this. I think I was tempted to regrade this. I think that's what was going on because I think this submission was especially harsh. I felt like the harshness was so severe. Yeah, this one's really clean, dude. You got to wonder sometimes. We could spend all night just cracking slabs to regrade. What do you think of that? What did they possibly find wrong with this? I remember this. I didn't want to sell it because it was too nice. It's important to look very carefully at the card before cracking it because if it is a 9, you don't want to have to regrade it for just to get another 9, you know? Oh man, that is one clean card. PSA needs to have the graders report just like tag. Because a 9 implies they found something wrong with it. Oh man, it's got to be real subtle, whatever they found. It's crazy that they let that Star Wars card through with the 10, and then this one gets a 9. Wild. I don't know. It's in a heavy slab. It's with their later cert. I think PSA got too strict at some point. I wonder if they've pulled it back somewhat. Hey, mister, do you have any news about the May PSA submission? Nope. No, I do not. I don't have any news until PSA sends it back, really. I don't know. I feel like cracking it. I do. It is a nice Squirtle, but then again, I can always get more PSA slabs. It's like a question of convenience. Like, how much work do I want to try to go through just to get maybe a better grade on one more card, you know? And in the off chance it grades 9 again, that's going to shoot the cost right in the foot, you know? Like, it's going to be a loss. It's tough, man. It's tough. Because I feel like that one really does look like it shouldn't have been a 9. It's a very nice looking 9. Oops. Give me a second. We're going to hit save on that. Doesn't PSA offer graders notes? Yeah, but they only offer it on cards that are like graded at a really high tier. And then I've actually received those graders notes on one card once, and it was basically junk. They just said, it's a corner, but they don't tell you what's wrong with the corner. They just say like, left corner or something like that, and it's like, the left corner's not good enough. All right, let's see. So PSA is very inconsistent. Here's Mr. Thim. We have an order from a Thim tonight. 5 Japanese OP10s, and 1 Pal World. 1 Pal World. And 5 of the Japanese OP10s. Let's jump over here. Here's the Sun and Moon Crimson Invasion. Move this out of the way. Put this over here. All right, where are my OP10s at? That's my question. Here it is. All right. Let's grab these. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I think tonight's slow enough that I could have just called off Sunday. Maybe I'll do that next week. Just have Sunday off. What would I do? Maybe I could take Sunday off and work on like other things. Maybe I'll go write that book finally. Snip of this. What I really have to do is take Sunday night off and make a long form piece of content. That's what I ought to do. End of week report or something. There are. Snipping this. How to be highly productive. Set that there. But it's crazy though, because sometimes you go live on a Sunday and it's really crazy and busy. So you just don't know until you know. Tossing this. All right. We've got Reptiro Ore Gorger. He's an Ore Gorger. Okay, Reptiro. Here's a holo. And a holo. And a holo. And a Don card. And a holo. Okay, no luck in here, Mr. Thim, but thank you so much. You know, Thim, it's just basically just been you and Jody tonight. It's been a slow night. I think I'm going to toss both of you guys into that giveaway. We are. Appreciate those orders. It has been a very slow Sunday. It's been a pretty busy week. I don't know if you guys noticed that. The last week was pretty dang crazy. It was a very busy week. Tossing this over here. Maybe Sunday nights could be for like repricing the menu. Look at items that haven't sold in a really long time. I think repricing things is some of the most boring stuff you can do. I hate repricing things. Wish I had like an AI, like a custom AI that was good at just catching prices. Okay, Hathim's going on, and so are you, Miss Jody. Thanks, guys. I want to get more junk packs, but I don't know. Yeah. Those junk packs sure have a lot of junk in them. They got a lot of junk in the trunk. Hey, what's up, Mr. Arturo? He's placing an order too tonight. Let's take a quick look. Mr. Arturo, he says 1 Power World pack. All right, 1 Power World. And that is the end of that box of Power World. So do I have a new box? Yes, I do. Let's go grab this and we'll pop it open. Power World's been selling okay. What do you guys think of these Power World cards? Or should I get Gem 5 Korean? I think it's Gem 5 Chinese, isn't it? Mister always talks about taking a day off, but he never does. Yeah, it's true. I think it's kind of hard for me to take days off. There we go. Very nice. I think it's because I sit there going, what am I going to do? And my options are really constrained. I can like play video games or watch TV. And what good are those two things? They're not any good at all. Like, I can always do those things, you know? I can do those when I'm not working. Play video games, watch television. Wumpo. Frost Peak. Here's Univolt. Here's Vanworm. And here's Jormuntide. Not to be confused with Gyarados, because it's not Gyarados. Wink. All right, very good. Let's go grab your bag. I think Power World's going to overtake Pokemon. That's what I think is going to happen. There we go. Reno is on fire. I know, it's such a cool place to move. It's on fire, baby. Yeah, I heard about that, man. I heard about that. People are losing some homes. Here's Mr. Thim. He says, I'll take 6 more of those Japanese OP10s. Where are the OP10s? We just moved them. Here they are. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of crazy because Karis and I talk a lot about moving there, and then there's a forest fire. Like, that's our worst. You know, if you get hit by a hurricane, your cards might survive the hurricane. If you get hit by a tornado, there's a good chance you'll survive. Your cards will survive a tornado. Just put them in the basement. if you get hit with an earthquake, that might be okay too if the building's really strong. But forest fire, you're toast. The cards will melt. So the Palisades fire destroyed some very rare Pokemon cards. Did you know that? There was a guy who had a complete PSA 10 base set Pokemon card collection, like the Charizard and all that. He had a complete collection. It got burned up in the Palisades fire. That was one of the losses. And think about how much money that was. That was over $1 million of Pokemon cards lost in one event. And yeah, it's like a worst nightmare, man, because that would just be no good. Here's a holo. Here's this guy. It's a sign that Vegas is the move. Yeah, it might be a sign that Vegas is the better move. I don't think Vegas can do that, just because if you're living like in a, you know, sort of like, you know, splendid trimmed yard with you know, like an HOA and all that stuff, not going to be much vegetation to burn. And then even if something did catch fire, a fire truck's going to head out there real fast. If you think about the way a wildfire has to work, it has to have like a big, uninterruptible chunk of land where the firefighters can't really reach, and then it all has to catch on fire over there and it spread rapidly, right? That can't really happen in a suburbia area of Vegas, even if it's very hot and very dry, because if something catches on fire, they're just going to send a fire truck out there. All right, Mr. Them, with your bag right over here. Better version of Gyarados. Oh, really? Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe Pal World's the future, man. There you go. You can spend time with us and talk out loud about your ideas. So I was thinking about getting a piercing, a weenie piercing. I'm just kidding. Did you guys watch that TV show on Netflix called Tires with Shane Gillis? That was so fun, dude. I watched the whole thing in like one day, I swear. Well, it was like 2 days. Really, really fun. Okay, let's see what's next. Scooby Bones. All right, that's it. We have no orders in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and put Mr. Arturo in here as well. Here you go, Mr. Arturo. Okay, Arturo on 17. I don't know what the position is called, but they have people that jump in the middle of the fire to help sustain it. I don't know. What? Sustain it? A Prince Albert. I think you mean to help get rid of it, right? A Prince Albert or a Jacob's Ladder. Oh my gosh, man. Among other piercings. Ooh, here's that expensive Gyarados. So maybe we take a picture of this and get this one listed up on eBay. Mister, what kind of events are you thinking? I think one very easy event would be like a tournament with like a scoreboard called Who's That Pokemon? Who's That Pokemon is a competitive game where you have to buy like a booster pack first. So everyone buys a booster pack to enter. And then that booster pack goes into like a pot, here it is. So kind of like, you know, if you're buying into a competitive event, you have to buy like a $45 ticket or something, right? And then that ticket money is used for the prize. And so whoever wins Who's That Pokemon gets that prize. Yeah, hold on, let me take a ton of pictures of this. Man, that looks cool. Flip this around. Whoever buys this is probably going to wonder why it didn't grade 10. So they're going to question if they can take it and regrade it and then flip it. So they're going to be questioning that. So let's go over here to selling. And we'll list an item. And it'll say PSA 9. Who's that Pokemon? Do-do-do. XY. Gyarados. We used to play that together as a group a lot. And it was a lot of fun. The challenge was you had to name the Pokemon using only like, you know, you had to use like little bits of information that you were fed. And then it was a race to see who could guess it first. So PSA 9, XY Gyarados, XY 60. And then we're going to say pre-release. Pre-release, Ancient Origins. Okay, cool. And we'll say stamped maybe? All right, PSA 9 Gyarados, XY. So let's go ahead and continue with that match. Is this card professionally graded? Yes, it is, by PSA. The grade is a 9, sadly. And now we have to upload the pictures. Let's see. This is hilarious. Yes, this is what I meant. I have dumb moments. What? All right, so I will go ahead and start uploading pictures of this. That's a lot of pictures. Is there a limit on how many pictures there could be? So those are uploading. Item specifics. Game. Doesn't know what game. Obviously it's Pokemon. Okay, description. Use AI description. We're gonna get done on that. Now pricing. We priced it at $2,600. So for eBay, I think we'll do 2,600, 500, or 2,650, or maybe 2,700. I don't know. Boy, it's not letting me change the price on it. It's like frozen. Come on now. Oh, I guess it's frozen for a second. Here's an order from Mr. Athim. Let me click on that real fast. It says 5 PAL Worlds and 3 Japanese OP10s. I think it's broken. I don't think it'll let me edit the price. Boy, this app is so crappy, dude. It like freezes all the time. It's glitched. I don't get to price it. That's terrible. Here, let me try saving it as draft. Save for later. Okay. So let's go ahead and work on this now. That's terrible. Their app breaks so quickly and so often. Now, PAL World. Here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it goes. Male sense. What? You got boys on the mind? You can't be saying that. Probably too many drunk packs for you. Let's see. You gotta cool it on those drunk packs. Grab this. At 1, 2, 3. All right. And there we have it. We got all your cards. You got 3 left over there. Good. All right. Who's that Pokemon? Everyone buys a pack. There's a prize pool. The tournament carries on with a final winner who's the best at guessing who that Pokemon is. And then that person gets the prize, which is everyone's booster pack. So like, let's say you get 10 people join, everyone buys a booster, and then you have a couple rounds of who's that Pokemon, and the winner gets 10 booster packs for the price of 1. But to have won like that, you had to have done pretty well. You actually had to have won the game. Yeah, we got this guy. Ooh. Doo-doo-doo. Here's a holo. Here's a holo. Here's PAL World. We got Pyrin Noct. Okay. Ooh, okay. You got a full art. Chillet, Dragon Whisperer. Okay, there's a Dragon Whisperer. Nice. Here's 2 more holos. Lylene. Oh my god. You've got Pyrin Noct, Steed of Azure Flames. Okay, and 2 more holos. There we have it. I don't know enough of the new Pokemons to play. Well, that's what we do to help people feel comfortable playing the game. We stick to popular Pokemon, or we stick to like Gen 1 or Gen 2. So Pokemon everyone should know. Yeah, the new Pokemon are really confusing. They are. But so that's exactly what we do on the rules. We make sure that everyone has a chance to win. We also have like some really fun modes of it. Like sometimes we'll take a card and kind of trim it up so you only get to see a piece of the card, like maybe like this right here. And you have to guess the Pokemon. And people are actually so good that they go, oh, that's Stuffle, Stufle. Yeah, it's really crazy. There we go. So you have enough there to start a second bag. I'm looking at the chat and it's all me being annoying things and not spelling correctly. Oh, I didn't realize. No, you're fine. Yeah. Here we are. What are the events, guys? What kind of events would you guys like to see as a group? Like, what if we had a recurring theme? Like, okay, Tuesday's Ladies' Night, right? That's a theme. A theme. A theme and in the rain. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We'll have karaoke night, and the way it'll work is you'll be invited in as a guest on Discord to a voice channel, and then you have to sing into the microphone while we're opening packs. That could be pretty nuts. Thank you, Hathim, for the big order. I appreciate it, man. Here's an order from Mr. Hathim. He says 3 more of the OP10s and 1 Crimson Invasion. All right, we got a Crimson Invasion. And here are the 3 OP10s. Then there's me naming pals like Anubis. All right, so we're on to the next box of OP10 on the next order. Crimson Invasion is a $32 booster pack, everybody. There we go. Set that there. Starly, Skiddo, Weedle, Geodude, Aaron, Carablast. Ho ho! Holographic Beware. Ooh. Little bonus hit there, double hit. So Carablast and Beware in this pack. No common Pikachu, no reverse holo Pipichu. Okay. I like this Weedle drawing. Why is that Weedle drawing so funny somehow? Are you ready? So here's Dracula. Oh, Trafalgar Law. Cool, man. Good. And holo. He was in the last 3 packs. Dang, dude. Really made you go digging for that one. Oh, yeah. We like to keep a thin bag nearby, don't we? So let's grab this. We'll keep this one nearby. Okay, lovely. Those dang Crimson Invasions, man. There's got to be a Pikachu nearby. He's hard to pull. He must be so hard to grade. Thank you, Athim. Tonight's night brought to you by basically Mr. Athim. He's been keeping us busy, and it's been mostly him. I'm going to just put you on this giveaway a second time, man. I hope you pull it. Thanks for the orders. Easy giveaway spots for sure. Now, let's try and finish this guy real fast. We're trying to get him listed up on eBay. But when we tried to list him, it wouldn't let us choose a price. All right, so we'll grab this again. Ooh, taking a while to load. There's me naming pals like Anubis. I feel like that would go horribly wrong with the troll. Oh, what the hell? Oh, so maybe the reason we couldn't price it is because it wasn't accepting the images. All right, let's try that again. Okay. Scooby Buns, Scooby Buns. It looks like it accepted it. Item specifics, game, Pokemon. Okay. We're done on that. Description, AI description. Don't you guys love the AI description? Okay, we're going to hit done on that. And then price. So, whoa, there we go. It's letting me price it now. 2700. Shipping, this is fine. All right, and list your item. Pokemon Bingo? Pokemon Bingo. That's an interesting one. How would Pokemon Bingo work? Close that. You know, we used to have a bingo wheel. Real big one, real squeaky and loud. So we have priced a guy up on eBay. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this guy for the Pricey Slabs channel. Click. So you get it cheaper here off the table, but it's also up on eBay. We'll see if it sells on eBay. What do you guys think? You think it'll sell on eBay? Maybe it will. All right, so what's over here? We've got, this is that BR Hello Kitty card, Pom Pom Purin. It's a really funny card. Look, everyone's butthole is showing. What the? Guess it's kind of like, you know, our pet cat. She's always showing us her butt. Like, I don't want to see that. Cats do that, you know. Cats are like, here's my butthole. They'll be like, I'm enjoying my time around you. Here, why don't you see my butthole? There you go. Now, this reached only a 9.5, and so I would assume it will cross over into a PSA 10. Actually, I feel like that one's too cheap at 100. I'm going to say 75 on this one. And I feel like that one should be like 125, to be honest. I'm just looking at it like I'm evaluating it from my gut. No, we'll leave it at 100. It's fine. We'll leave it at 100. All right, we'll keep the prices low, guys. Maybe something with points. Rates of the chase, I don't know. Maybe put a few cards up and people get points. And after so many points, I get to tick one of those chase cards. It could be a $2 chase card. So that's just a different product at the end, right? But event nights. Now, what would AI say about event nights? Let me go ahead and plug this in, by the way. I like to charge my phone while we're in here. All right, let's see what AI says. You give me some feedback on what AI says, okay? I run a Rip and Ship channel. I'm the Cardconomist. Give us some ideas for like event nights that maybe are recurring once per week. All right, so I just hit enter on that, and then we'll see what it says. After so many points, the person gets to choose a chase card. That's an interesting idea. Well, that's kind of like when you're at an arcade and you get like tickets from an arcade, right? And then when you build up enough tickets, you get to choose a prize. Although the prizes are always like a baggie of, like, I don't know, a baggie of Tootsie Rolls or something. You know, it's like a terrible thing. It's like nothing important. Something out of a dollar store. There we go. We got Gengar. Here's an order from our good friend, Mr. Hathim. He says, last 2 crimson for the night. You got it, man. Last 2 crimsons. Oops, I grabbed 3 there. Just have AI run game night. Mister will give out junk packs. Time to kick the cat outdoors. What? I'm not kicking the kitty cat outdoors. It's a good cat. Karis really likes the cat. Dude, it's like 100 times cleaner than the last cat. This cat never throws up, never goes to the bathroom where it shouldn't. Crazy. You guys, you ready? Yeah, it's like, it was like hell with the other cats, man. They were bad. Here's Remoraid, Aaron, Star U, Jangmo O, Phoebos. Ah, man, I saw that yellow border. There's Emoga. Centering's not bad. If only that could... Wow, look at that Aggron, man. That is a cool pack. 2 heavy packs in a row. I wonder if the next pack could be heavy, too. If it is, it's a lucky round. Okay. Unless you have 1,000,000 points, and then you can get a PlayStation 3. Oh, yeah. There we go. Execute, Stoofle, Magikarp, Remoraid, Mankey, boom, Misdreavus, and Cacturne. All right, I knew it was too good to be true. We are Misdreavus. And here's Cacturne, looking pretty creepy as hell. Cacturne's a creepy Pokemon. I mean, look at him. He does look creepy. He's like a jack-o'-lantern face. Pretty creepy. All right, no Pikachus at all. It's very painful. I don't know what to say. You do pull a nice-looking Emoga. Misdreavus isn't that bad, actually. I think she's a rare, isn't she? No, she's a common. All right, but then also holographic Aggron. So you got a nice holo rare. Damn you, Crimson Invasion! It's invading my brain. Ooh, I'm a little nervous. You know, I bought that $11,000 Pikachu off of eBay, and I had Probstein send it directly to my Vault account, right? Which is something I do. I give somebody I buy a card from, I give them my Vault address and say, ship it here. But what makes me nervous is they haven't checked it in yet. And the reason that doesn't feel right is because I have stuff that I sent after that Pikachu, like quite a bit afterwards, that has already been checked in, but the Pikachu hasn't been checked in. So I emailed them today saying, hey, where's this Pikachu? Maybe they're doing a test on it to make sure it's authentic. I don't know. But I don't like how long it's taken, making me a little nervous. So how about this guy? BGS 9.5. Gengar 074. Let's see. He's going to go for about $80. So let me see what the PSA 10 goes for, because I have to make a choice. PSA 10. I sent some of my best looking Gengars. They all got 9.5s. Just crazy. Yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and sell it because it looks like the PSA 10's 115, which is, I don't know, it's close to a $40 difference, actually. It all depends on how much PSA opens back up for. I can't decide, because if we allow the card to age, there's no problem with that. The card getting older is no problem. If this card got like another year older, Dark Phantasma Gengar. I call him BJ Gengar, by the way. Have you guys ever caught on to this? Look at the expression he's making, and then look at this girl down here. So I call him BJ Gengar. I know that's not right. I thought that he was going to get edited when they reprinted him in English, like to maybe change that a little bit. But yeah, he's a funny card. Got a 9.5. Son of a bitch. PSA probably gets a butt ton of stuff from Probstein. Yeah, they probably do. They probably do. Yeah, it's real tempting to just regrade all of these with PSA, because it's an extra $40 if it grades PSA 10. But so for that to be useful, PSA would have to give it a 10, first of all. And also PSA grading would have to be less than $40. And then I'd be waiting like a year later to get it back. I don't know. Maybe I'll just price them up right now for 85 and leave them alone. I don't know. Bothers me. Should have sent it to PSA in the first place. I could send it to CGC and over rely on the CGC Pristine, because if it gets the CGC Pristine, then we're still in business. I'll still ask for the whole price, but that could take like 7 months, I guess. I don't know how long CGC will take to turn it around. Lol, she's clearly blowing a Charmander in the... Yeah, she's clearly getting the fire going, right? Now, look at him. His eyes rolling back. He's smiling. He's like, oh, yeah. It's a great night tonight. He's just hanging out with his girls. His 2 queens. He's the king. Here's Mr. Thim. He says, you know what? I'll take 2 more crimsons. All right, you got it, man. 2 more crimsons. Good luck. We're running low on crimsons, guys. Crimsons are getting lower. Snipping time. Ready? How much is the jungle pack break? Hey, yeah, so we started a new pack break today. Here it is. So we got tops and we got jungle. Jungle is 46 per spot. Also, Hedi Pata continues to run. It's $6 per spot. So this will continue to go on. And it's just going to have its own separate little holder, okay? So there you go. Tops Rainbow and Jungle Long Crimp. Pretty cool. Might I also add that the Pikachu Gengar card has a sublist with only 1 spot left. Them. Carablast, Dino, Houndour, Bunnelby. Oh, yeah. Jigglypuff's decent. Okay, we got a Jigglypuff Hollow. Look at this. You can also pull this Yukimori Starmie out of here. That's a Yukimori clay Pokemon picture. Love these, man. So cool. What a job. What a cool job. Okay, and what's this going to come down to? We got Stoofle, Mischievous, Kimiko, Skiddo, Carablast, Phoebos. I'm so sorry, man. No luck in that round. It's tough, man. Crimson's tough for sure. Tough as nails. All right. I respect the Crimson Invasion set, knowing now how truly difficult it is to actually pull Pikachu. That card's just going to go for tons of money whenever somebody does pull it. That Gengar got pulled the other night, but that was not a reverse holo Gengar. I'll point that out, which means that there may still be time to pull the reverse holo. And the one that we did pull, the regular holo, it wasn't in good enough shape for a 10. So it's like a 10 hasn't been pulled yet. So we got 2 great chase cards going on this channel. Reverse holo Gengar, reverse holo Pikachu. The melodic reverse is really good looking too. Same with the Cubone. Those all look really nice. The Cubone has a really specific look this time. Okay, if it got a CGC Pristine after only 9.5 with Beckett, it would be very telling about the actual quality of the BGS Pristine. Might be worth sending to them just to test. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably keep sending cards to BGS to try for their Pristine and their Black Label. I got a single Black Label. You see it's right here. What do you guys think I should price this at, knowing how difficult it is to get that Black Label? It's Frog Mario. It's very cute. It's not a conventional Pokemon card, but it's still a Black Label. I could probably place a price on it right now. I'd probably price it around... What would someone really be willing to pay for a card like this? I want to say sheesh, maybe $600. Oh man, that's terrible. Hold on, wait. I hate it when I draw the numbers and they don't look very good. They gotta look good. There you go. Maybe like a $600 card. All right, I like him a lot. That happens to be a Mario Black Label card. Put it in the center here. Mr. Thim, let me put you on this Mark giveaway again. You're going to take spot number 19. Okay, just one spot to hand out. You know, guys, tonight we've been handing out these spots to Mr. Hathim because he's actually kept the stream running on a very slow Sunday. So I felt like that was pretty appropriate. I acquired a pop on Rainbow Topps cards. It's almost star, but I was pretty happy with the purchase. Is there a PSA 10 of it? Of what? That Frog Mario card? All right, let's see. What do we got? We've got Mr. Kevin Vu. Hello, Kevin Vu. He would like the Gengar Subby Wubby. All right, Kevin Vu it is. This is going off now. There it is. Now, let's grab one of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Ooh. Karis and I were watching a lot of real estate videos today on Tennessee, which is still an option on the table, is Tennessee. And they have their Knoxville region, which is very pretty. You get a pretty large house over there, and you can even get a semi-decent lake house. It's still really expensive, but Tennessee's still an option. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like more of what we know already. Not much of a change because the environment's so similar to Missouri. We also had AI do an analysis on like where we could just buy the most home regardless of the taxes or any benefits like that. And it chose this crazy home in Ohio. It was so beautiful. I should have shared a link on, well, maybe I did share a link. I don't remember. I should have shared a link on Discord. Really beautiful home in Ohio. And it was kind of cheap for what you were getting too. It was huge too. Give me a number. And I was like, man, I would never have thought to go shopping for a home in some place in Ohio. But yeah, Ohio, you know, they got taxes too. And it would just be like another move from Missouri to another state like Missouri, I guess. But with the exception of buying this unusually well-priced home. So that's a different strategy entirely, isn't it? Just sort of looking at where we can buy the most luxury home, right, for what we have. I grew up in Ohio. Don't do it. Ohio's a trap. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so if you choose 4, it's the same as choosing 0. Here's LD444. Miss. LD444. There he goes. LD444 is in. And that is the spot number 3 and spot number 4. Sorry to everyone who missed. LD444 picking it up on spot number 2. Okay, there's the Psyduck. He's going to get a mark. I assume he trades it back to me. If he doesn't have to. He can say, wait a second, actually, I want the Psyduck. But I'll just preemptively get that done for him. These are your guys' cards. It's a little like Texas. They talk big, but everyone hates it there unless you like corn. All right. One of those, well, you know, you kind of figure that's how it is. It's one of those places where no one's fighting to get into it, right? That's the only way you're going to end up with a nice big luxury home, right? Nice big luxury home. And it's like, well, how did you afford that big luxury home for so cheap? Well, nobody else wants it. I'll take it. You know what I mean? So it's a very different strategy, right? It's an interesting strategy, but AI went hunting for like one of the best luxury homes you could buy for like a smaller amount of money, and it actually found one. It was really impressive. It was built in 1919. It looks like a freaking castle. It's like really amazing. Maybe I can pull it up on screen for you guys for fun. Would you like to see it? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 16 out of 36. I do like corn, says Magician's Hobby. Yeah. Well, shucks. Welcome to Ohio. There it is, a 16 out of 36. Let's begin a new round on these sublists. Don't forget, you can just buy in for $128. That might be the smarter move. You never know. It is heading toward the halfway point, everybody. When this hits 18 out of 36, it's officially halfway done. The Pikachu break is one of the fastest moving breaks on the table. Okay, I'm going to go report on how this sublist finished. Okay. Takes hours to drive through. Only a couple nice spots near Cincinnati. I suppose this great life revolves around college football and agriculture. Yeah, sounds pretty lame. All right, so we're going to Breaks History. I might be able to look it up for you guys right now really fast. Sublist, Pikachu, Gengar, 1 hour, 50 minutes, LD444. All right, LD444 pulled it. And then let me go to ZELLE real fast. Okay. Oh yeah, this is like the lake house we're looking at in Tennessee. This house is really nice. Check this out. So this house right here, it's kind of on the high side for us, but it was just built, and it's 20 minutes away from the center of Knoxville. Comes with one dock, you get the water. Pretty straightforward. It's smaller than the house we're in right now. It's actually a lot. It's not a lot smaller, I guess. But there it is, you know, so that's the same lifestyle, but you have to buy in at a much higher price. And I guess that's because people want those houses out there in Knoxville. There's people who want to be in Knoxville at this point, right? Knoxville is a no-tax state. So it's kind of interesting. A no-tax state can become so full that you're no longer getting a very good deal on it, right? So that's an interesting concept. Like maybe that's going on right now with Vegas too, right? And then let's see if I can find this real fast. Where did we see this? This was like a $1.3 million house. So let me set the price to high, and then let's set the limit to 1.4. Okay, we hit apply on that. And then let me make sure I don't have any filters on that would stop it from showing up. I don't. And then let's change the property type to only homes. No condos, no land, no apartments, no manufacturing. All right, there we go. And then we should be able to find it pretty fast. Here it is. All right, check this out. So AI found this house for me when I said, why don't you just find me the best house money can buy anywhere in the United States? And it picked this place right here. So check it out. Pick this house right here. Look at that, dude. Doesn't that look crazy? And that's for 1.3 million, which means it's within our range because we can sell off our current homes and put a down payment for this. It's also 7,600 square feet, and it's located in Cleveland. So right here. So I assume you would have, decent amenities. So it's kind of crazy. I would just go from paying Missouri taxes to paying, I guess, Ohio taxes. But it's crazy beautiful, man. Look at that. Oh, man. So crazy. And, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of impressed. Look at the inside. Doesn't look too bad. Looked like this part probably got renovated. It's from 1919, so it's kind of like a historic building. We had houses like this in the main street of, look, there's some water back there too, a little pond, I guess. This house right here is kind of like a duplicate of this one, so they're very similar, and they were made right next to each other. So that's 1.3 million. Kind of an interesting concept. Instead of moving toward tax-free status, you just move toward, like, whatever the best house money can buy is. Anyways, there you go. What did you guys think of that? We could move there if we wanted to, and then I would just... What I would probably do is I just wouldn't sell any of my Pokemon cards. I would just keep them all. So that's the liquidation event that I can liquidate in Vegas, because that's a smart place to liquidate. But if I moved to Ohio, I would never liquidate. I would just hold them. It'll just be filled with boxes of cards instead of furniture. How can you furnish a 7,500 square foot home, though? Yeah, that's a great question. That's maybe too big of a home. All right, next up, we have an order from Hathim. Last 2 Crimson, for real. You got it. Yeah, what do you guys think of that? That was really pretty, wasn't it? So if I took that same amount of money and went to Las Vegas, it would buy me like a cookie cutter suburban home in a like gated community. And it'll have no yard, and it would just be like brand new built home. It's kind of interesting. You get way more for your money over there in Ohio, Cleveland, than in a desirable place in Nevada where all the Californians are moving. But then you still pay taxes. So it's like, damn it, still got to pay them taxes. Yeah, you ready? Pretty interesting. And then I'm stuck in Cleveland, Ohio, which I hope I like it. Maybe I would not like it. Like this house I'm in Missouri, it's a $650,000, 4,800 square foot lake home. It's huge. It's huge. It's got a dock. It's got a ton of yard, which I never want to walk in because of the ticks. But it's, yeah, it's got a whole chunk of the lake to myself. I don't know how I got such a good price on it, but I guess it's because there's nothing to do out here. Here's Houndour. Here's Spoink. Here's Misdreavus. Ooh, so we know this is hard to pull. That's the Pikachu common card, everybody. So if this card grades 10, it's already worth a lot. Ooh, the Melodic. Such a good choice to keep going here. Melodic popping out. Staraptor behind it. Okay, so that was a good pack. Look up the Cleveland tourism video. But it's also the added tax of being in a place like Vegas with all the amenities. I'm just, you know, I'm just doing some analysis as well. We're doing a lot of analysis now that we know we want to get out of Missouri. There we are. Staying in Missouri is also slightly tempting just from the point of view of being lazy. So I don't know if you thought about it, but it is actually a ton of work to move. So just sitting in the home an extra year or something and not really worrying about moving for an extra year, maybe having a baby, you know, so that's also an option, to just sit still for a second while the world keeps turning and stuff keeps happening. I guess if we sit still for an extra year, the baby is born, and assuming a baby is born, and we get a whole extra year to save up, you know, but then also houses go up in price at the same time. Here's Shellos, Cubone. So look at this guy. Get this guy in a reverse holo. He's kind of cool looking. Here's Phoebos, Salandit, Pumpkaboo, Skiddo. Ah, man. Ooh, a little Buzzwole back there. That's kind of cool. All right. What about your wife's parents? Didn't you buy them a home nearby? They're in St. Louis, so they're actually like 3.5 hours away. They're kind of further away, which I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't I don't get super excited with them hanging out. Here we are. Melodic, Skiddo, Buzzwole. They're just a little too crazy for me personally. They're quite man, they are 100% nuts. Here it is. So I like to stay far away. It's a good feeling. Wherever we do move, though, I'm probably going to offer to help them move over there, too. So maybe we'll get them a little condo or something, or apartment, sell that other house off, something like that. So wherever we do move, we'll offer to help them to move over there. If we go to Vegas, we'll offer to help them to move to Vegas. If we go to Tennessee, we'll offer to move them to Tennessee. If we go wherever it is, doesn't matter. All right, Mr. Hathim. I think that Pikachu coming out is much nicer than some of the other pulls. The Melodic and Skiddo are a nice touch. You got Buzzwole as well. Buzzwole's looking okay. Very good. That's so satisfying getting a hit finally, you know what I mean? So rough when you're not getting the hits. You'll be able to save more, but also lose the year of appreciation on a new property. Yeah, I've thought about that too. So basically, it's kind of complicated. Basically, what you just described there is sort of like placing a financial bet. So the financial bet is that if I don't buy into the market sooner, that will be a loss because the market is rapidly moving upward. But what if the market's not rapidly moving upward? What if it's just kind of going sideways for now? Then it's not such a rush. And also, you have to consider this. Right now, I got two big homes, a $500,000 home and a $650,000 home. That comes together to be like 1.1 million in real estate with mortgages. But this home over here is a 4% interest rate, and this one over here is like 6.5. When I sell this home and we roll it over into one bigger home that's maybe like 1.5, that's going to be like the full 6.5% interest rate. So the interest rate's actually going to go up higher for us overall, for the overall debt that we're holding. Plus, we kind of want to upgrade, right? We want to live in a nicer, bigger home. And if we upgrade to a bigger home, we're just taking on more debt because we feel like taking on more debt, right? Well, that carries with it more interest payments anyways. So, you know, there's also the chance that the market goes downward. Okay, so markets don't only go up, they go down too. So waiting another year might expose, you know, cracks or weaknesses in the markets, and everything might slide downward. So those are all things we've considered. It's something I'm really obsessing over. I got kind of an obsessive brain. I obsess over things. But what you're describing is exactly the kind of stuff that I'm trying to decide right now. I guess you could call it timing the market. I don't really want to time the market, but, you know, I'm thinking, like, would it really be so bad? One more year. If Karis is pregnant, we can either do this. We can rush to move over and get comfortable in Vegas, or we can sit over here for a year and wait for her to have a baby and then go to Vegas after the baby's born. And there are benefits to waiting, which is sort of like we get more time to we get more time to liquidate cards and build a better down payment. The better the down payment is, the better house we could pick out. And so, you know, I've got all these cards I could liquidate. But then on the other hand, if you get into Vegas, if you get over there, if you liquidate anything large, you get to keep 5% on that sale because no Missouri state taxes, you know what I mean? So it's actually a pretty complicated decision. One thing that really stood out to me is if we just sell the other lake house and we cut all of our mortgages down to just this one, we actually don't have too much of a mortgage to deal with. The interest rate isn't great, but it's just the one mortgage bill, no more energy bills for the other homes, no more insurance bills, no more tax bills. So just one home, $650,000. That's a lot easier than if we go over to like Vegas and we have like a $1.5 million mortgage and we got to get a huge down payment for that. And there's going to be closing costs and da-da-da-da-da, you know what I mean? So it's interesting. It's maybe something we shouldn't rush into, but we know what direction we're heading. We know that it is smarter to get into one of these no tax states no matter what. So like even if we just went over to Vegas and rented and then sold all 3 lake houses, that could be nice too. It's just a decision we have to make, and it's a tough one. It's really, it's difficult to make the right decision. Then you'll have the stress of moving with the 3-month-old baby. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm not really concerned about that personally. Actually, I don't know what's harder, a 3-month-old baby or a woman with a big fat tummy. All right, let's see. I don't want her to be stressed, that's all. She gets stressed out easily. Karis is someone who gets anxiety and stress like at the drop of a pin. So she gets a lot of stress. Here's Mr. Thim. He says, da-da-da, pre-grade 5 non-hollow Pikachu from Crimson and reverse hollow melodic from Crimson. So Thim has ordered some pre-grades. You got it, man. Let's grab this bag. And let's grab this bag. Any gains on the property in Vegas, if you were to turn around and sell it, won't pay tax on those gains. Here you are. Well, Vegas also, you know, it's a cool state, but I also wonder sometimes if it's at risk of prices falling. Because I see the prices, the square footage price in Vegas, and it's pretty high, actually. Vegas is surprisingly not that cheap. I don't know if you've thought about that before, but Vegas is surprisingly expensive. All right, what we got for you? We got the Raichu, Marowak, Execute, Cinccino. I like this Wigglytuff, by the way. I think that's pretty cute. Might want to pay attention to that one. You know how you might grade like a non-hollow Pikachu? Well, crazy as it sounds, you might grade a non-hollow Wigglytuff. Would you guys like it if I offered grading with a company that is no one's grading with it? You know, like a cheaper company that no one's grading with, but it's like a smaller, faster company. There you go. So I was thinking of that degree grading company, maybe offering middleman service on it. I like how you think things through. Up, down, left, right, which is good. Many people miss things. I like to think out loud and just say whatever I'm thinking. Yeah. Well, sometimes you can also make the mistake of thinking for too long, like Hamlet from Shakespeare. To be or not to be. If you just do that all day long and you never take action, that could be a mistake too. So it's like driving a car almost. It is. You gotta take a turn off the highway or onto the highway at some point. It is. But yeah, I think purchasing a home is like one of your largest purchases in life. It's more expensive than any Pokemon card I own. I don't own any cards that cost $1.5 million. And so Karis and I are contemplating rolling all of our equity into one bigger, nicer home in a new place, maybe like a tax-free place. And it's a big decision. And, we worked really hard to build all this equity. So we are. And by we, I mean me. Yeah. All right. I did the down payments on all the homes. She did the, she does a lot of mortgages. So she pays like the year to year. Here it is. Actually, we used to have it split up. So I used to pay the mortgage on the big house and she would pay 2 other mortgages. And then she took on all 3 mortgages recently. So she has like no money in her account now. All right, let's take a quick look at this mischief then. And she did that because she restructured how the homes are like registered and all this stuff. She said she does it to protect the houses from the business, actually. Here's a Raichu. So she did a whole bunch of work there. Doobie-doobie-doo, doobie-doobie-doo. So right now, her account runs out of money because she puts it all on the mortgages. And that won't be a problem as soon as they start selling. She will be fine, oh fine at that point. But we had them split before. All right, so some of these are badly off center, including this lovely melodic, but it's badly off center, right? So these are gonna miss right here. Now these look a little bit better. Let's take a quick look at them. You ready? So the fastest way to fail these is to check the back of them. Are you ready, them? It's actually not bad. It's got one imperfect corner on this side right here. Let me zoom in for you. All right, you ready? See that? So there you go. So you got one imperfect corner on this one. And then let's check out the hollowing. Looks pretty good. That's the Lazzle. All right, so, and then it doesn't have a perfectly round corner down here. So Lazzle shall get a 9.5. It's pretty close. I'd be tempted to test it out. Here's Miltank, okay? It's got a top-bottom off-centering. Miltank fails on this corner up here. It's got a clearly white corner. So Miltank will just be a 9. By the way, the reason these cards over here didn't make it in is because they just right away fail. Like I don't need to look at them very long. So that card, you know, he could be like an 8 for heavy off-centering. Set that there for you. Here's a Mulga. I grabbed all the ones that I thought actually might have a shot at a 10 if we examine them a little closer. So he's got, again, one of those corners that's not quite right. It's not perfect. Very, very close to being a good corner. See that right there? Okay, so there you got that. Let's check the front of it real fast. We're going to try and disqualify this from being considered. Okay, it's got like a little gray dot right there, and it doesn't appear to just be dust. Your card has a print line running right in the middle here. Okay, and so this card shall receive just a straight up 9. He's going to fail. Here's Buzzwool. White dot right there on the back. Okay, Buzzwool shall receive a 9. Everyone, please appreciate your 10s. You don't understand how hard they are to get. They're very hard. Here's Wigglytuff. Ooh, so close. So check that out. That's going to be, again, one of those kind of like, it's not a straight 10, but, you know, if a company were to be generous with you, they might just hand you a 10. It's got like a little blob right there. It's sort of like an impression. I see that on cards all the time. So this card, like the other card, shall receive a 9.5. Now, if this were to grade 10, I would try to sell this for like $80 to $120. Okay? Oh, this card is so nice. If this could grade 10, that'd be fantastic. But right off the bat, if we're looking, left or right is looking a little off. Check the back of it. This is going to be a full white dot on the back. So this is going to be 9. All right. How many have we done for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 there. That's pretty good. That's a good deal. So that's 21, right? And now here's Pikachu. Okay. My eyes are drawn to the top being a little thick versus the bottom. There it is. And then flip that around. And you see that centering right here to here is wrong too. So this card is going to miss on centering. It's otherwise pretty clean. So this might be a solid 9, by the way. And with the card as nice as this, even though it's a 9, let's say it graded 9 and you were able to sell it for $85, but the grading cost you $40. That's still like a $40 gain, you know? And so just one common card grading 9 could win you back the whole cost of the pack. All right, now we're looking at the second one, and I'm seeing a very similar problem. It's still kind of off-center down here. Flip it around, and it's so clean on the back. Yeah, so these Pikachus were real close, except for top-bottom centering. So for these Pikachus, for me, I would send it to like a cheap grading company and just try to get, or like if tag was open and we got cheap tag grading, I would send these both to tag, get the 9s on them, and then try to sell them for like $85. That's what I would do with these if I were you. Wigglytuff's a gamble if you're somebody who likes to gamble. Buzzwole's a no. Emolgo's a no. Melodic's a no. Miltank, probably no. Salazzle, same deal if you're somebody who likes to gamble on grading. Because grading is a bit of a gamble too. Did you guys ever think of that? When you get borderline cards, grading is a gamble. So, yeah, part of the gambling is opening the pack. The other part of the gambling is, will it grade 10? Yeah, sadly, he won't do well. Found on the bottom. Carablast actually is a little bit closer. Oh, it's got a white dot right there. So here, I'll just rule out the Carablast for you. Here you go. Okay, so these are all no's. Then on the right. Oh, that looks a little bit nice. Double check this real fast. Clear white dot on this corner right here. See that? Clear white dot. All right. I think we're on the bottom, I want to say. You never know. You know, if you think a company's grading a little nicer than the rest, you might still send it in. So, like for example, if you sent this into CGC and they turned it into a gem mint 10, not a pristine 10, but a gem mint 10, you could probably ask like 65 on it. Well, if you got that grading cheap enough, it would still kind of be worth it. But you also have to liquidate it, so it could be hard to liquidate a card like that. Somebody may not want to buy it from you. Well, this Geodude looks decent. Ready? You're missing 3 Pikas. He wanted 5 Pikas and Melodic. Okay, so he's got more Pikachus for me to look at there, guys. All right, no problem. So we're going to say that this one is also a 9. He's got print lines at the bottom. Okay, it goes. Just helping you out here. I'm getting a lot of grades done for you here, Mr. Thim, because I appreciate all the orders, and I want to help you try and get a 10 there. So you got 2 9s on those Pikachus. Let's go find the rest of his Pikachus, everyone. All right, and then we will be about done, because we got the Melodic looked at already. Are these all yours? Here's this. Where do your baggies begin? Here's Haunted. Here's Hathum. Checking my side. You don't got another bag right here. Here's this NHCC. All right, let's see what we got here. Aha, okay. Pikachu. Lovely. Carablast. Starly, Salandit. By the way, if you ever want to make a trade on the bulk from these booster packs, you guys can offer to make a trade. There's that Mega Gengar Mewtwo Pikachu that you were talking about earlier. Here's Mamoswine. Here's a little Feebas. Okay. The other Pikachus are with my Altarts. Nice. So we just grabbed them. Looks like we got them all. Okay. Good. Now, let's see what we got going on here. Feebas is going to be too thin on the top. This is just some bulk. Starly is not bad. Looking a little thin right up here. White dot right there. So Feebas is out. Here's another Carablast, clearly off center. That's 2 Pikachus. So we got 2 more. Did you say there was 3 more strictly? I'm learning. I appreciate it, mister. Yeah, a lot of people, when they watch the pre-grades, they learn a little bit about checking their card for a grade. I see something in the back of this. Ah, there it goes. Ha, it was sticking. Got it. All right, we found it. It was sticking. Got all 3 of them. No problem. Okay. Now, you ready for this? Where's my marker? I have my marker for this. You had 3, so let's see. So round 1, you can see he's real thin on the left compared to the right. And the grading companies can be pretty harsh on such off-centering. So he's going to be a 7 or an 8. I'm just going to go immediately to a 7, okay? Help you out on that so your expectations aren't too high. This one has way better centering. Top to bottom still sort of off. Let's check the back of the card. It has a curled up lip there. I like what I'm seeing on this one, though. It's a little bit cleaner than the others. All right, you got a little speck right there. Those are just common things that are common problems with cards. So I like this card a lot better than the other ones. This one probably is the closest one to a 10 that I've seen. So I'm going to give this 9.5 plus. Do I recommend sending this out? I definitely do. You had like a speck down there, and you've got lips up here. So this has a lip, this has a lip. This has an extremely tiny white dot. So this is the closest one to a 10 I've seen. It's that one right there. And then over here, we got one more. Let's see about him. See, he's got that weird corner going on. Centering is also nice on this Pikachu, which is one of the things you have to get past. You have to get that centering, you know. Okay, let's flip him around. Okay, once again, we see these big fat lips on the back. That's a little piece of debris, right? Yeah. Okay, just some speckles in there. Yeah, this one's also close. It's just got like some surface imperfections, very similar to that one. So these would be the two Pikachus that I'd be most optimistic about, 9.5 plus. I don't know how the companies are going to treat those lips, okay? Because I feel like they've been kind of upping the requirements to say no lips on the card. But I don't know. Maybe they give it a 10 anyways. It's hard to say. So 9.5, 9.5. We got a 7. And then your other Pikachus were going to be 9 and 9. All right, so how do you like that? Did I do a good job for you, Mr. Thim? You know, that was a relatively small order, but we spent a lot of time on that, and I graded a lot of extra ones for you, too, so you had an idea on some of the extra ones. Those Pikachus, guys, can be really valuable if they grade 10. We saw them selling around $600 in a 10, so those are no joke. A little top loaders on this? Get some top loaders on these Pikachus in case you decide to send these out a little while later. I'd love to see these get 10s and sell for $600 or something like that on eBay. If just these two cards sold for $600 each after like a PSA 10, he will probably make all of his money back. But it comes down, I think, to how PSA feels about the lips on the cards. Those lips on the back, I had a feeling that PSA doesn't like those based on some of my recent experiences with their new latest certification grading, you know, rubric. So I feel like they've gotten harsher on those things. You could try grading it with another company, like maybe CGC would be nicer, but I'd be scared that CGC hands out a Gem 10 to those. So if CGC gives them a Gem 10, I would expect them to sell for like $150 maybe, and that's just not as good. PSA, they don't do that. They have to choose between 9 or 10, which if they tilt it into a 10, then that's really good for you, because then it gets the full benefit of being a 10, you know? All right. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's 4:40. What else we got now? I think that's it. I think that's all the orders. Let's see. This has basically been the Hathim stream. This guy has been very nice to us tonight. Hathim, it's been a slow Sunday. I think I could have just taken Sunday off, man. So there we go. You get spot number 20. It's all you, man. Let's go ahead and roll for this overframe card. Landing on 5. Hey, it's Carp. He had all those bonus spots, and it goes to Mr. Hey, it's Carp. Goes. All right, so he wins the mark giveaway. Does Hey, it's Carp have a bag? I don't know if he has a bag. All right, let's see. Hey, it's Carp. All right, I'm going to set this to the side for now. All right, let's make sure to let him know that he pulled that, and then let's just see what's on the table real fast. We've got the Mega Tyranitar break with 8 out of 12 spots remaining. You can jump into the $40 sub list with that. Classic Pikachu's pretty much stuck. He hasn't moved in a while. Why would people jump into this when they can jump into Pikachu Gengar, you know? So, and then here we have the Shanks one-piece break. It's a PSA magazine promo, meaning you got it from the PSA magazine. I got a 10 on mine, but this is stuck at 5 out of 15. We got to get that guy moving, man. It's been sitting there for a while. Pack splits have been super popular on this channel. People love the pack splits. We got one person in here, This is fresh from tonight. I'm sure it'll start moving on Monday daytime. Monday, you know, it's way busier than Sunday. It's so weird. I think people go to bed for Sunday, and I think, you know, Monday comes around and they start working and they say, you know, I deserve a little sweet treat. That's what they decide. They go, you know, I worked real hard today. I deserve a little treat. So Monday starts picking up, and then it typically slows back down on Tuesday and then picks back up on Thursday. Thursday is when it starts getting good again. Yeah, I was looking at a card shop in Vegas, by the way, and they had a really interesting schedule. So this card shop opened up on Thursday and ran through the weekend. So it'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the rest of the week, they didn't do anything. It was closed. It's a card shop that's only open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was a larger card shop. And I thought, man, that is a weird schedule. But then it kind of clicked. I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. That's when the craziest sales come in, usually on Friday and Saturday. It's when everyone gets paid. Event idea, energy bowling teams. I haven't worked out the details. Did the Princess Peach giveaway go off? Princess Peach. Yeah, that one went off a while ago, I think. How many spots left in the Tops pack? So we're on yet another fresh pack of Tops. It's going to be called the Cheap Split. And you can see there are currently 2 people in the Cheap Split, Ryan and Chris A. So this means there are 6 spots remaining on that rainbow holographic Tops pack. Event idea, energy bowling. You guys want to see a box of Tops that oh, Factor Meals is shipping some food over to me. Factor Meals. I pay a lot of money to get Factor Meals now. You know why we do that? So we're not tempted with out to eat. We do that so we eat healthier. All right, check this out. It's covered in dust. Look at the dust on it. Can you see it? Look how much dust just kind of floats around in this room. That's so much dust, dude. Like, how can I get some of this dust off? Here, let's try this. Look how much dust this is. Wow. This is why I'm always sneezing. Wow. So much dust. All right, so I reserved this box for myself a very long time ago. And we don't mix, so I just opened these for me. You could tell the last time I touched it by how much dust was on it. Haven't touched it probably in like 6 or 7 months, maybe longer. Dang, I got 3 ads this time. Jesus. YouTube's insane. They want you to buy their premium service. So here it is. What do you think we pull out of here? I always dreamt of pulling a Rainbow Charizard that graded 10. I don't think it'll happen. He's too hard to pull. And even when you do pull him, he's not going to grade 10. It's just too hard to grade at 10. Nidoran. So I think I pull a Nidoran for myself. Look at the front of the pack's a Nidoran too. Wow. Oh, is this not even rainbow? So this one's not even rainbow. But look at that. Did you see how that fell apart? Exceptional. Crazy. Looks like a big print line running through it right there, though. So no matter how good the box is, you're never going to get a 10. It's impossible. It is. YouTube, I think they pretty much terrorize you. They say, hey, buddy, heard you liked watching YouTube. How about 3 ads in a row for you? And they're non-skippable. And I think they do that because what they want you to do is give up and buy their premium service. Because otherwise they're going to be like, well, you're going to watch a ton of ads. Bad corner down there. So with these cards, my goal is to look at each one carefully and see if it can be repaired with like flattening techniques. And if they can be repaired, to get them repaired. Because I consider each and every one of these Tops cards precious. You know, sometimes you see me just kind of hand these out willy-nilly really nicely. But it's like, I've sold these for years. If any of these grade 10, they sell for like over $100. So like this Butterfree in a PSA 10, even though it's just a common card, it would sell for like 120, 150 if it just graded 10. And so look at that, isn't that cute? And we could grade this with other companies too. This can be graded with Tag. This can be graded with CGC. CGC is pretty good with Tag, actually. I like CGC a lot. We might send these off to CGC. A little Butterfree there. And so there you guys go. Now I've got a box of the rainbow too. This guy can't be saved. He's got a thing here, but he's got the notch up there. And I don't know how you fix the notch. You know, I don't know if it's fixable. Some of those really professional card fixers, they probably can fix notched Topps cards. Look at this nice Ninetales. Does he have a notch? Yeah, he's got a little soft notch over there. So if the notch isn't that strong, I still consider sending it in. You saw there's two errors, the notch in the bottom of the card. Here's Oddish. Oddish is really good to get graded before 420 comes around. Yeah, big strong notch on that one, see? He's got no shot. So, but you know, if you can get an Oddish to grade 10 before 420, that's really great for 420 for Weed Day, unofficial holiday. All right. So that is a pack of Topps for Mr. Cardconomist. You guys ask if I ever open up packs. I was like, yeah, I do. Sometimes I have a big backlog of cards that need to already go out and grade, so I don't need to open anything. These are pretty valuable, pretty rare, and I'll set them over here for now. Even for people who just collect to, you know, just have cards in a binder, they still prefer high quality cards. They don't want cards with like scratches, bent corners, white dots. They don't want any of that. They want a mint looking card going in their binder. So, you know, if you have a card that's very minty, but it has like one pretty subtle flaw, that's still pretty valuable as a mint card. You'll sit another 10 years if the baby is born before you move. Oh yeah, you're talking about what we were talking about earlier. I was saying that, maybe we should rush and move before the baby is born. And you're saying if the baby comes out, I'm just going to stay put. I don't know if that's true. That's not my personality. I did come from a family of 11 kids. And so I got pretty comfortable with, you know how like it's such a trouble like moving around with kids, like going places, going out. Well, there were so many kids in my family. If you wanted to do anything at all, it required like a lot of effort and a lot of like, you know, like being in control of everything and understanding the idea of like a screaming child and all that stuff. So, you know, the idea of having to like pack everything up and move with the baby doesn't scare me too much. It's like, yeah, it will be uncomfortable. You know, there will be a 24-hour drive to Nevada where you're going to have a hotel in between and just 12 hours in the car and stuff like that. Or maybe like it'll be 3 trips, maybe like 3 8-hour trips or something like that. But that doesn't scare me too much. I'm pretty used to it. Topps are the shit. I think it would be smart to move before the baby comes. Imagine moving states with the baby rather than just a pregnant woman. Yeah, I'll definitely, you know, I'll think about it. Karis gets up early today to go to the doctor, and the doctor does a blood test to see if she's actually pregnant or something. And I guess that's sort of like the final say, you know, compared to like the birth control tests. Because Karis is worried that, oh, maybe it's just a chemical pregnancy or something like that. She says something like that. But I don't know if the, you know, the doctor test is better than the pregnancy test, but we'll have to see. She doesn't like to get her hopes up. So, you know, and I guess I'm kind of the same way. But she'll find out today if the doctor thinks she's pregnant, and then, you know, then we can celebrate and see what happens. Hopefully just a healthy baby, you know. Back at 10, Mario Kart. You like that? The Black Label Mario Kart? It's really nice. All right. Now I just need to get 11 more women pregnant, and I'll have 12 kids. Whew, that's a lot of work, man. No, I'm just kidding. Well, guys, it's 4:51 a.m. in the morning, and you know what? I am not seeing any orders in the queue. So it has been just a very slow night tonight, and I think we're going to wrap up early as a result of that. So we're probably just going to wrap up early and, I don't know, bum around. Maybe I'll just go relax. I'll see you guys for Monday. The Monday stream, it will probably be surprisingly way busier than this one. Sunday night's a slow stream. It really is. It's usually not that busy. So, and I don't know if something will change that one day, but it could just be that all of our best customers tend to show up on Monday or like, you know, like Friday. Okay. So we'll go ahead and hop off for tonight. Name it Alex or Alexi of Girl. I'll name it after somebody who wants to send lots and lots and lots and lots of gifts to that kid. I will. Here's what we'll do. We'll create a college fund, and then everyone who wants to name the kid can donate a minimal amount to the college fund, maybe like $50. And then you guys can then create a poll amongst each other, and you can name the kid. So you can name it Umbreon or Charizard. It'll be really fun. But anyways, enough talking about that. I'm going to hop off. You guys have a wonderful night, okay? See you later, everybody.